Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's right. Historytimes.org. Lawya, everybody tonight. How is everybody doing today? It's G.O.C.C. Media, Tuesday nights with Elder Rawchaa. Hopefully everybody's doing good today. All right, we're getting ready to go in. And this week I promised that I would try to get some call-ins and some feedback about, similar topic to our last show. We were talking about come out of her, my people. And we're going to bring some conversation tonight about a few, diverse variables within that topic. But tonight we're going to keep it with very similar, but with food, shelter, and raiment, because, upon coming out of Babylon, obviously they are tainting every little thing. So that is, our food. Thank you. I needed that tea. Let me get me that tea. Get this, clear my throat real quick. So, sorry, been working all day. So, food, shelter, and raiment. So, y'all been doing some carpentry work. Still, we doing some stuff around the house after this hailstorm. So we still recovering from that, but everything is going good. Getting everything back up to speed. Okay, I'm a warrior, so that's just how this thing goes. Hopefully everybody had a beautiful feast of first fruits. I'm going to be uploading a little bit of what we did for first fruits on G.O.C.C. Media here, and if you have a video you want to show for first fruits, if it's a nice little video, just make sure. Let me turn the sound up. Just make sure that you send it to you understand, Elder Rawchaa at gmail.com, okay? Preferably your leaders. I'm talking about your leaders to do it, if they want to share that on our media show. Not just anybody, of course. Hopefully everybody can hear me a little bit more clearly. Okay, I just had to turn the mic up a little bit, and I probably was a little far back from the mic. So, anyway, so like I said, tonight's topic is about food, shelter, and raiment. I've been discussing, a few things with some of the leaders about this topic and about everything that's going on, leading up, to the coming of our Lord and Savior, Yeshua, my Savior, our Savior, right? Coming back. It seems as if every week we have a new recall. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention out there, but it seems as if every new week we have an actual recall on food, right? And we know in the scriptures, as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and go there really quick. Yeah. Let me go there really quick. 1 Timothy chapter 6. One second here. Let me get it for you guys. All right, let me make it a little bigger. All right. Yeah. I know I just had it here. What happened? 1 second. I had all this stuff set up. Let me pull it back up. Good, Father of mine. There we go. All right, here we go. All right, let me see if I can fix that for you guys. Make sure everyone can see that. Probably gonna make it a little smaller. One second, guys. Let me make it a little smaller so you guys can actually be able to see this thing. I don't know why this one's showing. Alrighty, 1 Timothy chapter 6. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 8. It says, as a matter of fact, let's start at verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be there with content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation, a snare, okay, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Okay? So, Christ told us in Timothy, right, through the disciples, that we should be content with food and raiment. And also shelter. Because obviously if you don't have any shelter, you're open and sitting duck. Okay? So, but most importantly, food and raiment, because you're going to be as pilgrims upon the earth. And this is not necessarily our home. Obviously you have to have a home. So, I mean, I know some people send me videos of some people already living out there into the wilderness, but I mean, these people are not actually living off the grid if they're still coming on Instagram so that they can see exactly where they are. That's pointless. Okay, I'm just telling you the truth. So that just doesn't make any sense. Right now, we are practicing the righteous acts, motivating, provoking one another to good works. Okay, but dare any of us just put, every little thing out there that we may want to keep private so that we can actually make it from point A to point B. Okay? So we have to keep these type of things in mind as well. Okay? So would food, shelter, and clothing be there with content? Am I saying that it's a problem for us to do other things? No, what I'm saying is that if we look at the signs, we look at the economy, we look at everything at an all-time high. Now, for those of us who are sowing from what we reap and can afford to do these things, hey, that's good. That means you are getting in front of things. But let's be honest, everyone is just not in that position. So we can't just speak for those who have more than enough oil in their lamp. We can't only speak for those people. We have to speak for the majority, okay, of the people who are suffering in this captivity, right? But we don't want to, once again, I don't teach in the doom and gloom type of mindset, because guess what? If you either swim or you drown. That's just the way that I grew up. That's what I read in the Bible. Faith without works is dead. Okay? A fool sees something coming from afar and does not prepare for it, okay? So I'm just not going to just accept defeat. And we should just not accept defeat. So right now we're practicing these things, and motivating one another and encouraging one another to do these things is very important. Putting one another in remembrance of these things is very important. Now, I've been looking at a few news articles, and I just seen one that I'm going to show right now. And it's so many out there. I can go on and on, but for the past few weeks, I've seen so many recalls on food. Do I believe that there's a recall on a lot of this food? Personally, I don't believe that there's a recall on all of this food. I personally believe that it's no different than any false flag shooting or anything. But do I believe that there are some dangerous toxins and chemicals in this food? Yes, definitely. But I believe that when it's so frequent, that there's an agenda behind such a thing. And at the same time that this weather warfare is all over the place, that we can obviously see that they are playing copycat with the Ark of the Covenant with their so-called harp instrument, allegedly. Okay? Allegedly, there's some instrument out there in Alaska, one of the instruments at least, outside of the cloud seeding and the Doppler that they used, when it comes to manipulating weather. And there's actual weather bills. So this is not something we're just pulling out. We're just not pulling this out from somewhere. There's actual bills on this stuff, okay? So, but we can get into that another time, okay? There's been so many recalls on food. And I saw a video the other day, and I've known about the fabric thing, but I've known about the fabric thing, but I still remember the scripture that Christ said that we shall eat poisons and not die. And a lot of these things were not going to harm us, because I remember when I was a little kid, sometimes I wasn't going to tell mommy that I wasn't drinking water. I was drinking soda and Skittles and all type of other stuff out there. You understand? So, I don't know how I'm here. I don't know how a lot of us are here today. I really don't, because some of us, we went times without drinking water. We were just eating as many Skittles and Now Laters and, you understand, Funyuns and all type of this, nonsense that doesn't, all of these toxins and this trash that doesn't really belong in our body. And some of us, for the fact of the matter, are still actually eating these things. Now, when we were children, we were children. We're the adults. We have to be here for our children. We have to fight for our children. We have to protect our children. We have to protect our wives. How are we going to do that not in shape? We had to walk. We walked out of Egypt 600,000, not including the women and children and the actual mixed multitude that were among us when you're actually reading the scriptures. But don't forget, we walked out. So all of us can talk all this stuff about what we can do. And, even the men, hey, it's good to have a lot of size, but I'm going to be honest with you. Since we're talking about food, it's times where people in America are not used to, even if they had to ever eat one meal a day. And some of us have done this for years with no complaints. It's actually one of the most healthiest diets on the planet. I'm not suggesting that someone go and do it. I'm just saying I can do it. I don't know if you can do it. I don't know if you fast enough before the way you could just stop eating food, or, when in an emergency. I don't know if you could just eat one meal a day and just feel like you're not going to be able to live. I'm just telling you the truth. So some people preach this thing, no, you got to eat 8 meals a day, and that's a bodybuilding diet. It's not something that actually has to be done. You can choose to eat 2 meals a day, 1 meal a day, 3 meals a day, whatever. Depending on your size, your portions are going to always be different than the next person. I'm just never going to come on here telling people what to do. I'm just going to say, according to what's out there, what's going on, if you're preserving food, I hope you don't think when you're preserving food that you're going to be eating 8 meals a day, that you're even going to be eating 3 meals a day. If you're trying to preserve something, if you have a year's worth of food, you have family members, even with yourself, the smartest thing for a person to do living in a world of anxiety is not going to be able to, not going to be just to eat all day, because you're going to need to be able to move. You might need to be able to move from point A to point B. I don't need people to get depressed. I don't need people to get stressed or thinking that I'm talking about someone's size. I don't care about that. I don't care about actually condescending my people. We all can do better. That's just what it is. We all can do better. I want you guys, I'm gonna put this disclaimer out there. When Elder Rawchaa is doing the lesson, I'm never talking about somebody personal. I'm never trying to put someone down. I'm never trying to put down women or people who are obese or people. Listen, I don't get any. I mean, I'm a pastor. I'm a shepherd. I'm a person who loves the people of the Most High. They have obviously been through so many trials, tribulations, depressions, so many different walks of life, so many different variables. But I still have to preach the word of God as a message, letting them know what's to come and how it may come about to the best of, my abilities. But I'm here to say if a man has to try to carry his friend, try to carry his wife, try to carry his daughters, or whatever the case may be, and they are, you understand, overweight, that's a burden on that, an extra burden on that man. And that's no offense. It's just like, listen, let's get in shape. Even on the man's side, if you are overweight, what's wrong with someone telling you we all need to get in shape? We all do. We all do. We can't just think that God's going to rescue us out of every situation. That's just the truth about it, because a lot of us have been in some tough situations in life, and there was no special treatment that God sent down with an angel to come and rescue me out of when I was sleeping in my car. That angel was sitting right there with me like, what you gonna do? You don't understand? So I'm just saying. And I had to get my wits together, because obviously if God didn't send me some specific help, that means that he knew that I can either go ask for help, I can go work for help, or do whatever it takes to get back on my feet. Because not going through those things, I probably would have not learned how to get from point A to point B in a emergency situation. I had to go through those things. You had to go through those things. It made you who you are today. And guess what else? It made the Most High's promises stamp as true. It made the Most High's promises in Deuteronomy stamped as true, that if our forefathers did not listen to him, that we would go through all of these curses. That we would go through all of these curses. I went through the curses. You went through the curses. We don't now, we understand, and we should do better to not put our children through the curses, right? Obviously, side note, arguing with each other in your household. And I'm learning the more your household is not in order, the further you are from actually making it to the kingdom. I'm just keeping it real with you. If you still arguing in your relationship, and when I say arguing, obviously people they see things different ways, but it's a way that you go about it to keep things in order. But if the woman is still arguing with the man and all of these little carnal things, like, I don't know what truth you guys are living in. You guys are still living in a lie. That's just the reality of it. Who told you that it was okay to do that? Not the Bible. The Bible didn't say it was okay to do that. Okay? So America is telling us everything that the Most High told us don't do to do. It tells us do not actually worship, you understand, a Christmas tree and a pagan holiday. And they tell us we should do it. They tell us we should not. They tell us it's okay for men to actually, hey, get on the internet and do things they shouldn't be doing with their hands. That's all I'm going to say. The doctors say it's okay. You got to, let it out, let loose. And then when someone comes in the truth, they use that as an excuse. Well, the doctor said it was okay. No, it's actually not okay. There's scriptures on that. That's just the same fornication that starts in the mind. The tree of good and evil. They tell you it's okay to now smoke weed, not understanding that most people, who smoke weed, they know when you make music, that's not you. That's why Lil Wayne, and all of these guys out there, they are, you understand, tainting what the Most High said. The herbs are for meat. Well, why are you not smoking oregano? Why are you not smoking moringa powder? Why are you not smoking cilantro? Why are you specifically smoking this devil's plant? Because don't forget, Azazel and the fallen angels created this tree. Azazel and the fallen angels created this tree. Now you want to, learn the whole lesson. I'm not going to go too deep into it. You got to get to the academy for the deep lessons. We're just going to, we just give overviews here. But they actually created different plants that would open gateways, right? So on this subject right now, we're talking about food. That's why I have key supplements, because the kingdom is in you. Why did I call it the kingdom is in you? Because you are the person who's going to have to actually do something about your health. The kingdom is in you. And so we use natural herbs. Yes, we have sports nutrition as well for those who do sports, but we use the natural herbs to help assist with some of these crazy preservatives in the food. All of these different methods that they are trying to taint when it comes to the Most High's creation. Yeah, you smoke this garbage. I remember doing this stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to be so anxious when I was driving, and it wasn't something I did on a regular either. I don't know why I really ever did it. It was like when the homies did it, when everything came around, I promise you, I probably rarely did it. But when I did do it, I felt very heavy. I felt like when I put my foot on the gas pedal when I was driving, that the gas pedal was so light. And what is that showing? That's showing I had a spirit or a giant in me. Why does a gas pedal feel light? Why do I feel like it's like I'm on the actual outside of this thing? Okay? Yeah. Why do I feel like I'm on the actual outside of this thing? Okay? That's Elder Rawchaa there. 1 second here. 1 second here. Yeah. Let me 1 second. Hey, Elder Rawchaa, if you wanna chime in or call in soon, just let me know. If you want to call in on Skype or however you want to do it. If you just want to call in the number, just text me and I'll read the text. So I remember freestyling too, like when I used to smoke this stuff, and like I said, I rarely ever did it. And I remember sitting there freestyling like Eminem, and I was always very good at freestyling. I won a battle rap contest when it was Big Tigger from Rap in the Basement. I actually won one. Okay, that's why I started doing big music. That was my takeoff or whatever. But when I smoked that one day, and I felt like, believe it or not, I know it sounds crazy, I felt like the time was different. It felt like two worlds of time. Like when I was smoking it, I felt like I had more time to think, to say words, to not fall off on the beat. And I was talking to them in a conversation while rhyming, and they were just like, how is he doing this? And I'm thinking in my mind, how am I doing this? But it was a demon. So what I'm saying is, we are continuing to get fooled. They're getting ready to roll this thing out that this thing is totally legal, and you thinking that this is, even though it's all bad, it's worse than when we were young, guys. Okay. Even though it's all bad, it's worse even than when we were young. So I'm gonna tell you guys, it's getting ready to be crazy, and the scorpion that these people have put in their arms, the scorpion's venom that these people have put in their arm in 2020, people are losing their minds out there. So the last thing you want to be doing is getting high. We need to use the Most High's herbs. Like I got in this good old dandelion tea. My wife take that thing and she roast that dandelion, because guess what? The coffee, to a certain degree, you got to be careful with some of that. Now, I'm not telling anybody stop drinking coffee. I'm just saying, if it affects your body in a certain way, no different in different milks and different food products, everyone has to know their own body. So I'll roast something that's anti this and anti that. I can't say it on here because I don't want to get flagged. I don't want to get flagged for everything, okay? So, but anyway, when it comes to our clothing, I'm going to give an example. I seen a video that Elder Rawchaa put out the other day, and I have to be careful how I speak, but I've seen this lady before, and she was talking about, obviously, the fabrics. You guys, I'll put it to you like this. Do you guys know how we actually have to get toxins out of our bodies? The underarms is one of them. And when you're wearing polyesters, acrylics, and nylons, a lot of times, especially polyester, a lot of times, guys, it's just like a greenhouse effect. toxins are coming out, but you got on like a plastic bag under here where you can't actually breathe, and then that smell is staying there. You don't notice how that smell will still stay in some of those fabrics? Any of you guys ever notice that? That's how that thing works. These people have tainted the way that we actually dress and wear clothing. You see what I'm saying? So, and guess what? We have grace from these things. So I don't need anyone stressing like, I don't have enough money to go get 100% this and that. Guess what? A lot of us don't. That's going to take a slow process, you understand, until we get into our kingdom. It will. It's an expensive task. It can be done, but you're going to need the finances to really get this thing done, especially to try to find the appropriate clothes to go to work, to work out in. It can be done, though, but it's just going to take some time. Your sheets, your blankets, I mean, they have tainted everything of the Most High when it comes to food, shelter, and raiment. The houses are being made with cheap material. Put these houses up very fast, and you know, they are pricing these things, you know, above the value that they really are, guys. And the crazy part about it is we have to be thankful and grateful for these three things more than ever now, because they are all being tainted on so many levels that soon it's going to be hard for you to go to that market to get something properly non-GMO, because even the word organic is being tainted now. I don't care what you say. I'm going to tell you right now, even the word organic is being tainted. 100% organic is actually different than organic. So, and let me tell you, it's rough out here. So, like I tell people, pay attention to the number 3 and the number 4, and get some things you have to get organic. You're not going to be able to get everything organic because they don't offer everything organic unless you're growing it. So we don't live in that world where we can follow the law in every little way. Now you got to put some baking soda and some vinegar to wash that number 3 and that number 4 fruit or vegetable. And you can get what you can get organic. Things that have soft skins like strawberries and berries, because the spray can go through those easy. Things like watermelons, things like cucumbers, those have hard shells where the sprays can't go through them so easy. So you have to learn these things. Why are we talking about food, shelter, and raiment tonight? Because these are some of the most important things that's going to make you be able to endure to the end. If you're not eating, and we're not just talking about no veganism either. That's, you know, because guess what? There's things that when you do studies on certain cultures, guys, the raw milk, the raw kefir, the raw butter is what's actually making these people actually powerful. So all I'm saying is I don't need to go into details with every little thing. You just need to eat the diet of God. Eat what the Most High called good and leave it and try to get it in its original form as much as possible. You got people on YouTube tainting the whole game. The most of the fruit trees we buy, guys, are not even native. We are buying fruit trees from all over the place. On top of that, they are on different root stocks so that they will not have disease because of the times when Adam and Eve sinned. So you're not dealing with a novice here. All of the fruit trees are on different root stocks, unless they are just native to this area where you are in. They're tainting the olive oil. You got to look on the olive oil to make sure it comes from one country. Just to make sure you didn't spend your money in vain. And you don't walk away trying to anoint yourself and the demon is like, I ain't going nowhere because that ain't real olive oil. Huh? Right? So this is where it's coming, guys. RoboCop. RoboCop. You understand? What's that Denzel Washington movie? I forget that Denzel Washington. Book of Eli. Walking Dead. And I'm being literal. I'm not just saying this stuff to talk about it. The daily sacrifice is also being taken away. People's jobs. The trucking industry. You know how many brothers drive trucks? And these people are, so we have to start preparing ourselves financially and otherwise, saving food, saving water, making sure we're not living above our means, just in case that we got to leave some room in the area in case the job gets hit. No different than 2020. My brother Deacon Alam from Houston just sent me. We've been talking about it for like a year or two about how the trucking industry, we've been seeing these automated trucks. They slowly coming in. Now you guys have some time, but we have to get in front of these things. We have to get in front of these things. We have to be thankful for them. And if while we can make these situations even better, knowing that even during the time of 2020, they were kicking people out of their houses in places that they were renting. In places, and I keep telling people, hey, long as you got shelter, all praises to the Most High. But renting, you're actually giving. In time, you have count the money you are giving people by renting. I don't care if when you own something, it's smaller than the next person or keeping up with the Joneses. You gotta learn how to keep up with the J's first before you can keep up with the Joneses, which we shouldn't be trying to do anyway. We are pilgrims on the earth. Now, if you get to the level where you start to understand how to deal with this credit system and stuff like that, then you've gotten there. But right now, everyone don't know that part. And neither can we go around just sharing all of that type of information on here, because that information actually costs. You have to pay consultant fees and all type of things for that type of information. That information is just not readily given away, and it's not going to be given away just to people who would just do anything with it. Because no different than if they give out reparations, they can't really actually give out reparations. How can you give out reparations? To who? East Indians are black. Ethiopians gonna be talking about they black. Arabs is black. So I wouldn't even be focused on that. How I don't know how they would actually work that thing out. You see, I don't even know how they would work that out. So I would even focus on something like that. But let me go through a few videos here. First, let's go to Daniel, chapter 12 and 9. Now they go into this more into the Hebrew Academy, like I said. So we're just covering this part here. Daniel 12 and 9 says, "And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified," meaning many shall turn from their wicked ways and repent, "and made white." Yes, a white person who will make you think this is talking about they're actually going to try to turn to a white person. This is have nothing to do with that. Many shall be purified when it's talking about made white. Cleansed. White is just representing purity. And we're not talking about their skin color, because they are not actually white. So-called white people are not actually white. The Bible calls them red, because you can see their blood through their pale skin. They're not actually white like paper. That's just not true. Now, I'm sure you probably went to Norway or Russia and seen one or two white people, but that's not average. I've never seen it Edom, right, which the Most High call red, walking around like the White Walkers. They ain't that white, I can tell you that. But anyway, so that's definitely, we can't let them misuse this scripture, but I'm going to get back on point. Many shall be purified and made white. So it's telling you right there what it means by white. Purified. Okay? And tried, meaning gold being tried through the fire. It's weather warfare going on. The food is being attacked. The air is being attacked. The medicine, the pharmaceuticals, and all of these things are manipulating our people. Let me tell you, we are losing on all sides. Will we win? Of course we will win if we decide to stay in this race. But how will you actually finish the race if you're not healthy? You have a good zeal, but not according to knowledge. The Bible says our people have a good zeal, but not according to knowledge. The knowledge of if I feel heavier at this size, I probably should tone it down. Sometimes some people will come up to me and say, "Hey, you must have lost a little weight." Yes, I drop weight sometimes. You don't get, just because I promote bodybuilding, let me tell you, don't mean that sometimes if I'm not fasting or I don't drop weight or I'm not focusing on different things. Some Negroes get caught up in the flesh and how man looks, sizing a man up all the time. When Bruce Lee whooped most cats way bigger than him. So never get caught up in the size too much. Because in war, you would really stand a chance if you're just some open big target. You can walk around sloppy swole all day and you get hit with a sword easy, and that skinny guy moves on to the next 5 people when you still was working on that one punch and you got done. And if you're a big man and you can train like that, that means you were pretty much training your whole life just to actually outprove nature that you can do something. You get tired eventually. Okay? So that's not reality. And women don't even focus on a man's size because it becomes stupid at some points when men focus so much on the flesh. Don't forget the Most High called the giants fools. They were so big and strong, and they still died and very easy. They were stupid. David killed a giant, and he was way smaller. He was not as big as his brother. So never focus on size. Get that childish, fleshly mentality. Like, life is about purpose. If a man is born with great size, he didn't use it for the Most High, it's vain. I'm just saying. Like, I never get this thing where men, like, they think because they got some type of size. In fighting, it does matter to a certain degree, but that's to novices. To people who know how to handle themselves. A man who knows how to handle himself, when he looks at a 7-foot dude, he's like, I hit him real quick in the stomach. He's done. This is not no boxing match. You an easy target. Right? I never got how America like brainwashed our people into like, oh wow, LeBron James did a dunk. He's 6'9". He's 6'9". Show me somebody like Muggsy Bogues dunking. Now that's amazing because it's really not something that's supposed to be done. When a man can just raise his hand and barely jump and dunk, that's not amazing. So they've taught us to get caught up into like a bunch of vanity and stuff that's not realistic. You see people doing all of this stuff on YouTube and Instagram, and then when it comes to actual real battle, they cannot actually protect their wives, their children, and you're like, what's all this stuff you was doing on YouTube and Instagram? You made a great video, but that's unrealistic stuff. And let me tell you, dudes on steroids, they look amazing doing this stuff. But in all reality, dude, when you throw 6 punches, you out of breath. So it's time for us to start being realistic here. Okay? Look at the armies. Me and Elder Rawchaa was talking about this the other day. But a lot of men just still don't get this common sense. Look at the armies overseas and look at armies in general. It's not about how much you can bench. That's just extra fun. If you can't do a bunch of push-ups and a bunch of pull-ups with your own weight, if you're falling off a mountain or something like that, if you have to pull people up, it's not realistic. Swole is coming in last. So right now we're focusing on health, being in shape. Those who have also cardio. Okay? So it's all about balance. There's nothing wrong with having muscles and being swole. It's nothing wrong with that. But when it's time for war, you might want to drop some of that off because it's going to slow you down. I'm just keeping it real with you because eventually it's going to drop off anyway because the meals ain't going to be like that. You're not going to have all those meals like that. So why are we talking about this? Because food is becoming scarce. Food, it will always be available. That's why people won't think it's a famine. But it won't be the food that the Most High said we can eat. Food, it will be a famine. Let me tell you, it will be a famine definitely for the righteous because we can't eat a lot of this garbage out there. We can't eat a lot of this garbage out there. Right? They have food like, yeah, we got food. We got a bunch of lab meat up in here. That's a straight famine. In your face. All right? Now, I bet you ain't thinking about paying $200-$300 for some plastic designer clothing anymore. The way things are going now. Just to show your brother you got on some Fendi or some Gucci or whoever. I don't even know these people. I don't even know what type of watches. I remember when I was young, my stepfather had found a Rolex watch. I took that thing. No, I wasn't supposed to take that thing. I took it to school in middle school. I'm like, I didn't even know what a Rolex was. I took that thing like, yeah, I got me a Rolex. And when I thought back when I grew up, I'm like, listen, that Rolex didn't change anything about my life. The timing changed for me. Nothing happened faster. I didn't get any extra girls. I just said, yeah, I got a Rolex on. So we're going to really be able to appreciate now how important it is to have food, shelter, and raiment. Not about how flashy it is, about how it can take us to be able to endure to the end. All right? Let's talk about it really quick. Daniel chapter 12, verse 9. Many shall be purified and made white and tried. So don't think you just coming in this thing and you just, oh, I got baptized, I feel different. The spirits and the things you used to do, they don't change about you when you get baptized, just so you know. They don't come off of you. You become a new person because you got the gift of the Holy Spirit to fight them off now. That's what's happening, in case you didn't know. You just had your volume button. It's like a radio. You just had your volume button stuck for a long time. But now the Holy Spirit comes to unstick that thing to where you can get good and turn the volume down, super glue that thing, and keep it down after a while. But those demons are always there. So it's always constantly playing. You just learn how to turn the volume down on it. You just learn how to become good. See, this is how this thing works with life. It's like weights, like the weight room. The weights always stay heavy. They feel lighter because your work ethic. The weights never get lighter, actually. You just get stronger. That's how it is with demons. They will always whisper these weird things. Now, the more you stay around righteous people, the more you use righteous words, the more your mind is focused on the Most High. Those thoughts become less and less and less. But they are trying to actually force these things in our face to where every channel you come on, you hear something about the Rainbow Gang. Your children see this. You're hearing about these things when it comes to school. And when I say shelter, I'm not just talking about a place to live. I'm talking about a place to call home. People who you can trust. I'm talking about shelter in this way too. Because your children goes to these schools and they're opening your children up to get tainted with all of these worldly. I mean, let me tell you, so unrighteous we can't even speak on some of these things. I seen a baby the other day on a post. 8-year-old, man. The cops running in, getting this 8-year-old. I mean, it struck me. It struck me hard because I have children. Thinking about where was the parents? Where's the overseers? Did she even have parents? This old dude, you understand, has her in a room. They pick her up. Obviously, it's red on the mattress because of what this guy is doing, man. So they get in there and they rescue this young lady. And I just thought about this. I said, boy, I thought about this one lady I seen on this post. She came out. One man goes to her door with like a basket, acting like he's talking to her. While the other guy's coming around, as she opens the door, he gets in the back door. Because as soon as you unlock the door, the other door is unlocked too. So he gets in there. And she's scared, so you can't blame her. So she gets in. And so she didn't know the other guy with the basket is working with this dude. And so now they tell her to get to the passenger side. They tell her to get to the passenger side. And he hops in the front seat and they take her. If you ain't in shape, where you running to? If you ain't in shape, where you running to? If you're not practicing, to protect yourself, where you running to? Y'all think the Most High is going to rescue you out of every situation? Let me tell you right now, it just said we shall be tried. Everything will not be perfect. Everything will not be easy. You must fight to get into your kingdom. Listen, when you don't have any more money, Esau is not giving you any more money. It's time for us to prepare because we are in a time of war. Prepare ourselves for this fall. Put ourselves in a position and leave some room. Right? That's why I said, you know what, let me go buy this tractor. Because if this tractor, if the economy goes down, buy a tractor. I can go work with the tractor. I can go cut grass with the tractor. I can go dig a hole with the tractor. I could put the tractor on. Let me buy a truck. I mean, I could pull the tractor on my trailer with my truck. I can go do work, even when everything's down. Or if I need to sell the tractor, it does not lose value. Even if the economy goes up and down, my tractor won't lose value. It's certain things that's not going to lose value. Real estate, cows, livestock. As much as they try to scare you with livestock, livestock will always be around. You know how I know? The Bible says it. Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men and cattle therein. I know livestock it will always be around. So a lot of these scare tactics that they put out there, guys, you know, let me tell you, they know what's good for us too, because they'll feed you all of this other garbage, but they still going to need to eat cattle and eat vegetables. Daniel 12:10 says, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly. As we see, those also who won't listen, they would not listen. And none of the wicked shall understand, because they hadn't been studying. They hadn't been focused on the Most High. They don't ask questions about what's going on. They just like, everything gonna happen anyway. It's all gonna happen anyway. That's what they always say, right? But the wise shall understand. For example, tonight, I'm putting out certain information. Those who may not have known tonight, they're taking notes. Whether they're stored up in their mind, some people just got good memories, or whether you're writing it down. And if they forget, they say, hey, Elder, what was that stuff you talking about? And they get on it. They get on it in their own time. And never move antsy and with fear. Move with the purpose of, I'm trying to do according to the Most High's will, but I still have to be realistic and do it according to my time as best as I can. Like I said, we have a little time, but we definitely want to get in front of these things as I show some of these videos. Verse 11 says, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, right? And when we go into the daily sacrifice like we did in the academy, you know that talks about continual employment. Continual employment and for the food you put on your table. All of these things right now, they are working on taking them away. They are working on taking away the jobs. They already haven't given our people any 40 acres and a mule. Right? They have already not given our people what we were owed. And they're taking it away even more. But they're giving these things away to make this country go even more in default. They're giving thanks to Ukraine. They're giving thanks to the Afghanis. They're giving thanks to all of these other countries. Money to the immigrants. Right? No one's giving us anything. When's the last time you thought they were giving us anything? Oh, because they were giving out food stamps, because they were giving out welfare, Medicaid, healthcare. Huh? Let me tell you, if you want to get that soon, do you know what you're going to have to do? Yeah, you're going to have to be a part of the beast system soon. Come to find out, when it comes to this daycare stuff, right, where you take your children to daycare and they wanted these little tablets attached where the parents have to actually sign in. They found out, allegedly, that CPS, parts of the government, and I'll just say this, human trafficking was going on. Yeah. So they wanted to know if the parents is going there, signing in, because some of the parents, they go there, they drop the kids off and the daycare person hook them up a little bit. You know how that goes. Y'all black people, you know how that goes already. But they're not falling for that anymore. So they said, no. we putting these tablets out. If you want to keep this daycare, we'll give you some more points. But guess what? We're going to need you to be attached to this beast system. Eventually, we're going to need your children to, you understand, unless they have some type of exemptions, get the scorpion's poison in their arm, And on top of that, we need these tablets. We need to prove that the parents are actually coming here, dropping them off, and not you just giving them some money on the side because you guys are doing the hookup with each other. But it wasn't really about that, was it? Because that's been going on for years. Children have been found all of a sudden with this new initiative that they're pushing to be missing. Am I saying that every person in Child Protective Services is a bad person? No, I'm sure there's some innocent people that's in there that don't know what's going on. But let me tell you, they've been putting it out there. I can't answer these supplement questions right now, Aaron Gordon. All praises be to the Most High, though. Okay, we're going to give some call-ins or whatever. But, yeah, because I don't want to digress too far. So they've been finding out that children are missing. And this has been going on for the past few years, guys. Okay? Verse 11. And from that time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that make it desolate set up. Yeah, artificial intelligence. Huh? Unlawful food. Yeah. Huh? More of 2020 scorpion poison. Rainbowism put into the government. That's the abomination that make it desolate. All of the things that makes up the Antichrist system. Because guess what? 2 men make this place desolate. Because you can't bear children. You can't bear any fruit with 2 men or 2 women. When you have robots, that makes this place desolate. Who's having babies with robots? Huh? Without the proper food for actual humans, you just feeding a certain type of food to something that's not really human. Where a person's DNA is totally altered through taking the scorpion's poison. Yeah, that's going to definitely make it desolate. Wars. Civil wars. Raping, pillaging, robbing. Yeah, that's definitely going to make it desolate. So they are moving fast because guess what? The man of sin is being revealed. The sons of perdition are being revealed. Right? Now, and I don't get into this thing, I know Drake's dad, on his mom's side that he's Jewish or whatever, but I don't get into it too much. But what I'll say is this. I know Kendrick Lamar is putting a hammer on him right now, and I get that people are focused on this stuff. But let me tell you, I've seen Kendrick Lamar shaking and holding hands with Mr. Farrakhan. No offense, but if you're going to call Drake half white and half black, like he said, your girlfriend or your wife is that, and Farrakhan is that. So if you want to be all the way real, you got to be all the way real. So we can't get caught up into some color and all of these different things. But if you want to be all the way real, let's be all the way real. He's being used too. He's a Mason too, guys. I'm sorry to tell you guys. He's going hard on him. But don't you forget why this is happening. It's a big distraction. It's a big distraction because one of the CEOs of Universal, or whatever his high position is over Universal, he was inside of this Puffy case. All of a sudden, the rap beef happens. J. Cole under Universal. Yeah, it's a bunch of these. Universal is a top with all of these other companies under its umbrella. Just so you guys know. All of Rick Ross, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, all of these companies are actually under Universal, and Universal is actually allowing these diss records to go out. Usually there's a mixtape type of things. But when you see the record label allowing to put it out, let me tell you, that's not normal. And I forget this gentleman's name, but I looked him up like last week. And it don't matter if I say his name. You can look it up. He was one of them. What's the guy's name? Rod Wave or something like that? Rod Wave was saying that he was locked up in a room with Sean Puffy Combs and this person over Universal for hours. Now, all of a sudden, all of these people under Universal, there's a rap beef. Every time there's something going on with Tunnels or there's something going on with some of these Jewish people, guess what? There's a distraction out there. Epstein, Weinstein, or Lyingstein. There's a distraction put out. And our people are talking about these. I never seen so many grown men seriously talking about a bunch of people who are not even built like that. Drake is not built like that. Not even Kendrick Lamar. Not Kendrick Lamar he doesn't even poster himself to be built like that. So what really is it all about if these are not real so-called gangsters? These are Disney Channel. And guess what? You don't have to be a gangster, but I'm saying, let's be honest. Those of us who've been in the street, you know who's built like that. You don't have to question that. You already know. I'm not going to make a diss record. I'm going to come see you about that. That's just how this thing goes. Back in the days, hey, I'm just saying. We're going to come talk about it. We're going to sit down and have a cup of tea. So let us not fall for the distraction. All right. But anyway, verse 11 says, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that make it desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waited and cometh to 1,305 and 30 days. This is almost like 4 years or whatever, right? This would be like a president in office in his term. Okay, so you have to pay attention to these signs of what Daniel's talking about here. Blessed is he that waited and cometh to 1,305 and 30 days. How can you make it past that if you're not healthy? How can you make it past that if you get caught into carnality? If you get caught up into this world? How can you make it past that? Because let me tell you, they're purposely making the food worse to cause more sickness and disease. They're saying that when women wear, allegedly, these bras that are not made up of cotton, that are made up of acrylic, and whatever you call it, plastic, polyester, and all of this stuff. They're saying that this could be a big reason of breast cancer. That's what's out there right now. And a woman wouldn't even think about these things. Like, what? She's thinking of everything else, not knowing this is right here. They starting from the baby diapers, the diaper wipes. Have you ever looked at some of these diaper wipes? When I ever bought diaper wipes, I'm looking at these things like, my goodness, they starting with the babies. I had to get the ones diaper wipes with some. Get a spray bottle with your little herbal, little oils in there to make sure the baby's gonna be okay. It's just crazy out here. And you got to make sure the paper towels don't got no madness in there, because when my sister said spandex, yoga pants. Everybody want the yoga pants, but you can't breathe. You can't breathe, and you wonder why you got to go to the hospital like Sexy Red. I ain't calling her that. That's what they call her name. Trying to see if something smell or not. We have to take care of ourselves. All right. Let's see what's going on out here. You're not going to be able to get no weave in that time, so you need to get comfortable with that head cover. Okay? And it's all good. You look fine as wine, like a diamond in the head scarf. It's all good. Don't trip on it. But I'm saying, if you want to still have your weave, make sure you hold on to that thing. If an angel pull you through a portal and that thing fly off, you better have your extra head scarf on the side. Y'all know I love my sisters, but I know you done been through so much, and you didn't put perms and different type of things in your hair to where you're like, man, this thing done messed my hair up. I gotta have something. I get it, but I'm just saying. But I wouldn't suggest. I always suggest try to go natural as possible, me personally. But I know everybody's situation is different, so that's not what I'm here for. I'm just here as a messenger. I'm not here for people to be like, I don't like Elder Rawchaa no more. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just a messenger, okay? Fair use for educational purposes only. I love you anyway. And I know you're going to have your everlasting body. That's probably what you're saying. I'm going to just wait till I get my everlasting body. But let me show you what they're doing. There's chemicals in a lot of these things. So when it comes, I'm adding this a part of clothing too, as a part of raiment. Because the Most High gave you that for covering also. You just don't have it the same way as other women. I'm hearing that sisters are actually getting loans for this stuff. I didn't know, man, I sent them some to the elder the other day. I said, man, I didn't know sisters was actually getting loans to get wigs. That's actually a place where you guys are getting loans for this stuff. I'm like, what's up with the guy you fornicating with? He can't get, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't gonna hook you up with the wig. What's going on? Well, I got to get the wig to get him first. I'm just like confused. I just had never heard of anything like that. That's all I'm saying. Educational purposes only. I gotta give it to the Chinese because they can make anything. Chinese and the East Indians, you know what I'm talking about. Listen, I'll hire some of y'all too, but for some good stuff. But they can make anything. Let me tell you, they can make anything. They like, listen, I'm gonna show Jacob. I'm Jacob. Fake up, but let's go. Look at the flick of the wrist. This dude has stuck a wire brush in some tar or whatever that is. And hey, I'm telling you, why of our sisters' hair not coming back when they're wearing some? Well, that's because they're not getting the right wigs. You got to get this wig. You got the sisters who says that they got to get the right lashes and the right wigs. And I thought we just had to keep the right hair. My lashes is longer than most sisters. That's because I don't touch them. And when you put a little something, the little stuff to make them curl or whatever y'all put in there, they will still look better than the other ones. This dude is working this stuff. Look at that wrist. Look at that wrist. Look at that wrist. Look at this witchcraft. Tell me that ain't witchcraft. How does that work out? Did he skip a part? I'm like, how do you dip a wire brush in some tar and that thing comes out looking like that? I'm like, man, you didn't show us the whole step, brother. Somebody said I can't be weave it. Lord have mercy. Listen, I'm putting this out because I love my sisters and they've been attacked. I'm not putting it out to talk about them. That wouldn't be real. I'm not here to talk about my sisters. I love my sisters. I don't feel like, that they're playing fair with my sisters. They didn't trick them with the feminist movement, passed them up, and went straight to the rainbow gang. And now they're like, yeah, you can have your men back. Yeah, you can tell they told the sisters now they can have the men back, and now when the men don't want them, so they messed this whole thing up. See that? Hey, I'm just saying, I'm not a scientist. It's science falsely so-called, but at the same time, let me tell you, these people are making something out of nothing. Our name is Jacob. They are Facob. Jacob is the former of all things. We have to prove that we the former of all things. So, hey, if we start to believe on our God, it's a lot he can do with us. It's a lot of doors he will open for you. But we have to be willing to produce and not just play the victim. We can't just play the victim because our forefathers have sinned. Okay? Let's go to a few more things here. I'm going to try to keep it a little short so we can actually go into the calls here. See if I can bring Elder Rawchaa in if he wants to come in. 1 second here. Lord have mercy. It's getting crazy out here, guys. I'm just saying. Food, shelter, and raiment. Fair use for educational purposes only. And for religious purposes only. Because our God told us to be holy. Like I said, I don't pay attention to the comments and stuff like that, so...
Anybody that buys meat from Walmart, you're going to want to send them this video because they just recalled over 16,000 pounds for an E. coli contamination. So if you haven't heard about this yet, there's over 16,000 pounds of ground beef sold at Walmart that's recalled over an E. coli risk, which is crazy. They're saying that the contaminated beef was produced on April 26th and April 27th, and they were distributed to Walmart stores throughout the entire eastern U.S. They're saying that this ground beef was sold at Walmart locations in Connecticut, Washington, D.C., Massachusetts, Maryland, North Carolina, New Hampshire, Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Vermont, and New York. This is the list of the products that are recalled, so you can pause and read and check yours. This is the first part. Then here's the rest of the list. You can pause and read. The USDA is advising consumers to throw away or return the contaminated products to the place of purchase. Obviously, everybody should know that. You can get a full refund if you just return these. Obviously, do not eat them. I have no idea why there are literally so many different recalls on meat from Walmart, but obviously check your stuff. I give you these daily news roundup.
Hey, yeah, listen. It can be anywhere. Right now it's on the East Coast, but it can be anywhere. We have to be thankful for what we have and be content with it. Now, being content does not mean that you should not actually try to continue to bear more fruit and to get better your situation. The better your situation is, the better you can help others, the better you can help the ministry. But at the end of the day, you must be content and not be greedy. You don't do things for greediness. You can have one person who's a multimillionaire. You can have another person who's a multimillionaire. One of them is focusing on, oh yeah, man, I got these barns, I can save all my food. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got the other multimillionaire saying, you know what? I see my people hurting over here. I can't get everything away, but this is how I can know who wants to actually do better. But I'm gonna start and do certain initiatives. I'm gonna do certain ministries. And guess what? Before I die, I can't hold on and die with all of this money, but I'm gonna actually try to do works with it. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna have more in the kingdom of heaven. You see what I'm saying? So then you got the other person, like I said, who, like, man, I'm following all the commandments. I come to the Sabbath. I'll be listening to the lessons. And you just, working, having your money. And you come to Christ. Yeah, I've been following all the commandments up since my youth. And Christ tells you, you don't get it. You just some rich Negro with money following the commandments. Okay, what else have you done? How have you flipped your talent? I'm not talking about just your money. We understand you have money, but how have you flipped your spiritual talent to actually help your people? You have made it, but they haven't made it. You've made it according to this world, but you haven't made it into the kingdom. It's people who don't have as much money as you who are going to be greater in the kingdom than how you are now. So that's what I'm saying. Money is not bad if you can use it right as a tool. We never want to have this doctrine that you be some poor, depressed peasant Israelite. No, you have to live clean. You have money so you can have a clean environment, clean clothes, and clean food. It's just we choose to spend it on the wrong things, materialistic things. We go into all of these restaurants, the same thing in the restaurants. For some reason, when we go to a restaurant, we think everything dies down. That's when it comes to all of these chemicals, when it comes to all of these toxins, when it comes to all these preservatives. We get to the restaurant, it's like we hop into a portal of a different world. Like nothing's bad to the restaurant we went to. I'm not saying we can live under a rock. I'm saying we have to choose wisely now, even to the restaurant we go to, or on the menu, what we can eat and what we can't eat. That's all I'm saying. We just have to start to think before we do things. What's our purpose here? Okay? Be grateful when you say that prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. In the near future, I'm going to go into how important that statement alone was. On why Joseph saved the grain, specifically how he did. Why that actually was. Why the daily bread, if a person wasn't rich, that bread alone sufficed him with all of the nutrients that he needed for the day, whether he was poor or not. Because the bread that you see today on the cabinet, even that says organic, it still has preservatives. Why do you think there's some bread in the freezer? Why do you think there's some bread in the freezer? This bread on the cabinet says organic. But if it's not going bad at the same time as the bread you freshly grounded or the bread that's in the freezer, you have to ask yourself, what's going on here? That's why I'm having all of these issues in my body. How grateful and thankful should we be for food, shelter, and raiment, and how important it is for us to get in front of these things, start to study and learn and pay attention to what we put in our temple so that we can endure to the end. Or this person died from cancer. That person died from cancer. That person died from this. That person has this. That person has that. The toilet tissue we wipe our behind with, we have to pay attention to that. You have to make sure you go and get organic tissue that doesn't have chemicals in it. And I only found one place that I can get that here is Kroger's. So that's why I'm like, hey, you got to install these bidets on your toilet just in case everything's shut down. You're not sitting there fighting for tissue. Right? Hey, you got to, and that's a clean thing because this was done even in ancient times. In ancient Egypt, when we first got into the truth, elders showed us, I don't remember if it was a book or something he showed us, that the Egyptians had bidets and they had our faces on the bidets. Our faces were on the bidets and our faces were at the bottom of their slippers. In ancient Egypt. Okay? I don't remember the time period, but yeah, I remember. I wish he would show that again in the academy, but that would be great for him to show in the academy. Elder, if you're listening out there, it'd be nice for you to show that in the academy to the people. All right. So let me see. Like I said, I'm not going to go into too many things here. Oh, I did want to go into this the trucking thing really quick. When it comes to the daily sacrifice being taken away, they're trying to take away different types of jobs. It's not only trucking. They're trying to, obviously, with Amazon and all of that, replace many different jobs for our people. All right. I mean, you to pay for some of these cars, you're paying a house note now. And then they want to be able to control your car. I don't personally believe about these Teslas like that and these automatic cars that people are just purposely, like I seen an article that said some man drove his family into some big water canyon type of situation. And then, don't forget, we heard when the bridges were coming down that, and all of a sudden we forgot the bridges went down, right? But we heard that the lady who was a part of that, not a part of the bridges falling down, but she owns some of the cargo or some of the shipping containers, something like that. That she backed her Tesla backed into a lake. I personally would not want a Tesla. With all of these recalls going on with Tesla, with all of these accidents happening, like that movie that we just recently watched. I forget the name of that movie, but I personally wouldn't want a Tesla. And they won, no offense if you have it, but they are overrated when it comes to how long it takes to charge. All of these different things, they are very overrated. And anybody who can control my car like that, with all of these news articles, I probably would be taking that thing back, trading that thing in quickly. I personally believe that someone else is controlling that Tesla. Just telling you the truth. I don't know if you've been looking at the articles of how many deaths have been happening from these automatic cars and these Teslas. Yeah, leave the world behind. But you better pay attention. You better pay attention. For educational purposes only, fair use. The U.S. will require automatic emergency braking in cars. It could improve the unreliable technology. Here they go. Taking away not only the daily sacrifice, but control from you like they intended to in the beginning. You go to the store, you see your meat nice and red. Soak that thing in some vinegar and see how that meat really is supposed to look. All that blood come out of that steak or that meat. You got to make sure it ain't no dye left in your meat or no blood. because you don't know if it's blood or dye to keep the meat looking fresh. So we have to be very careful of being spoiled. Our enemies are spoiling us. Everything looks ready, but it comes at a cost. It comes at a price. Instead of us learning how to slaughter our own chickens. Right? Speaking of that, yeah. My neighbor, one of the brothers in the church, he got some geese. I said, man, listen, I need some of them geese, man. I need some of them geese. Yeah, we don't eat them, but they're good protectors. They keep the snakes and the mice from being around. They're a good alarm, just like the chickens. You understand? So these different things, we have to learn how the Most High had all of these things in place already. I don't know why the animals just love us over here. You got the neighbor's cow, the baby cow that the neighbor's guy is coming over here to chill with my cows. I said, look at that. They love the children of Israel, boy. But anyway, I digress. This is what's going on. They want to control your cars. Yeah, they don't forget, when they say peace, then comes sudden destruction. Peace. Yeah, let me tell you. They tell you they got some technology of breaking the cars, but when have we seen cars totally function at 100% all the time anyway, with whatever technology they have? These cars, the brakes are just going to come on. Imagine they think just slam the brakes and you slam into the steering wheel somewhere. Huh? But that's not it. Here you go. Deacon Alam sent me this one. Educational purposes only, fair use.
Sorts of cargo, but one thing they won't be carrying is a driver. By the end of the year, Aurora tractor trailers are expected.
All my truckers out there, listen and pay attention for the 4 years that's coming up. I'm not bringing fear, and let me tell you, some people gonna say, oh man, they can't have a truck. Let me tell you, when they roll it out on the news, it's already ready to go. It's just the grace the Most High is giving you to get in front of it. That's how the thing works for us, guys. That's how it works for us. He gives us grace to get in front of this because our kingdom is coming, and he wants us to actually be able to endure to the end to make it through it. He wants us to sit down with our family, get our house in order, put our thinking caps on, because the Holy Spirit is with us. He wants us to be able to adapt, no different than we did when we were in the hood. We did it in the hood without the Holy Spirit. Now we have the actual gift of the Holy Spirit left to us after baptism. He wants to see, what are you going to do now with the gift of the Holy Spirit? You did better than that when you were in the world. Now what are you going to do? Huh? Hey, I'm just saying. Let us get in front of some of these things. Let us learn how to move our money, in certain ways, and do whatever we need to do and get in front of these things. Soon it's going to come down where we got to pull together and be like, look, bro, this is what's going on. You do trucking, I do trucking. Hey, let's blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Now, I wouldn't do business with just anybody. And everything has to be in writing. You can't go off of the Jake Homie vibe. When it comes to money and business, the Bible says do everything in writing. Just so when a lot of money comes into play, people act different. Because some people just have never seen money, and it just keeps everything fair in just weights and just measures. Okay?
To begin cruising the highways hauling freight between Dallas and Houston. To avoid crashes, the self-driving semis outfitted with 25 sensors, including lasers, radars, and cameras. Within the next 4 years, Aurora said, and its competitors expect to put thousands of these trucks on the road, but the CEO...
Thousands of these trucks on the roads in the next 4 years. So you got some time before you get in front of it, but they are transitioning. They are transitioning. We should be transitioning. We should be transitioning, right, off of the grid and being as pilgrims to a certain degree, as much as we can, to where we still, hey, if this shuts down, I'm ready to go. As much as possible. Each person's situation is different, but let us be a work in progress is what I'm saying. No one's going to get it overnight. But as long as you're a work in progress, the Most High can do the rest. This is not just some motivational words. Like, we had to put this thing in action. We're not living some fairy tale here. We are not living some fairy tale. You let your daughter or your wife just roam out these days? Well, we used to be able to go to the mall as teenagers trying to get a girl phone number. That don't work like that no more. We used to, yeah. Let me see which one I'm gonna get. You know, because we was a nation of fornicators, but that's all we knew when we grew up, right? But let your daughter just go out and roam now. You got Arabs, East Indians, and even your own people. Edom and all that. They waiting to see a sitting duck. They waiting to see a group of little girls with mommy. Because mommy talk all that mess. Oh, I wish somebody gonna come. And she's not really ready she's not really ready to handle a machete. I just have to rhyme, but she's not really ready to handle the sword. And that's what my brother, right? Deacon Malak, he's teaching the people, right? And you can follow him on Instagram, but he's actually teaching the people not just how to protect themselves with a firearm, but he's actually teaching people the real situations. And his classes are properly amazing. Because a lot of people, what he's teaching, they didn't even know he knew that. One, they didn't know he knew that, and they didn't think about reality of situations. And a lot of people think you just pull your gun out and use it. You can do that if you want to, especially as a black person, especially as an Israelite. But let me tell you right now, you better know the law. You better know the law. And I want our men to understand something. On top of us having to get in front of actually our finances, get in front of our household and things like that, what are we without guns and money? What are we? If we didn't have guns or money, could we actually be able to still be respected as men and hold ourselves down? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Can you really hold these down? Do you have some type of wherewithal with the Bible, with the scriptures, to know what's going on? Well, you got to know the laws, but you have to know real life too. The laws is the basics. You got to have the basics, but you have to still kind of understand what's going on here. One thing about the laws, yeah, but we need a balance here is what I'm saying. The woman is looking at us to lead. And she's supposed to be our helpmeet on every level that we need her to be. But I'm saying, what is a man without a firearm, and what is a man without money? Will you still have respect when you're walking around here? Because the only men that are going to have respect is the men that are righteous. The men that are taking this thing serious. Those are the men that are going to be fine gold. Not just zeal only. Zeal is a great feeling. It's no different than a Christian. I know the Most High gonna take care of me and care. Yeah, but yeah. What are you doing as well? Huh? I don't want to hear this thing of making excuses, guys. And guess what? If you can drop some weight to get healthy, do it. You were not born like that. Whatever caused you to fall below, physically, mentally, or spiritually, it's time to get in front of it and fix it the best that you can. And we encourage one another while doing it. If you see a sister going to the gym, a brother going to the gym trying to get back in shape, get their heart back healthy, eating a clean diet, encourage them. That's what this thing is about. Us all. And guess what? They may be trying to get in shape, but then they may have something better than you. They may still be, doing something better than you doing. And we can all learn from each other. We can all help each other in the different areas where we have different strengths and we have different weaknesses. This is not the time to discourage. This is the time to encourage. But I'm going to be honest, this is also not the time for excuses. I personally don't want to hear excuses. I personally don't really want to hear other people's, especially friends and family members, co-workers' problems. We all, Israelites, we got our own problems. That's why I tell people, if you get your household in order first, you will not be stressing. Here it is, there's so much going on in the world, and you got to be stressing about other people's problems. I don't care about if it's my son, my daughter, my uncle, my grandmama, whoever. It's always like we trying to handle Christ's work, and we always got to step to the side for other people's worldly issues and problems. No. I can help where I can help, but if you constantly keep doing that, you can never do what the Most High called you to do. So sometimes you just have to stand firm, and you like, listen. And sometimes it's people in the truth too. Like, y'all still peddling with this garbage. You still arguing and going through this. Like, do you see what's going on out here? It's survival. You've been here 10 years, 8 years, 6 years, and you still on the same stuff. It's time for you to watch from home. Sorry. It's time for you to watch from home. I'm sorry, you're not kicked out, but it's time for you to go back into the state where you first were, because you still haven't learned. You're wasting the gift of the Holy Spirit. And you're getting offended at me for telling you that? Well, let's see if you're going to be offended with Christ tell you, depart from me, you work of iniquity, I know you not. Or bound you into chains of darkness, everlasting darkness, because you couldn't flip his talent at least a little bit. Walking around bearing an attitude, still bearing fleshly burdens, still not trying to do better, still making excuses. I think we thought the kingdom was just because we found out we're Israelites and playing victims. It's not for the weak. I just can't listen to him. I don't see him like a righteous man like y'all do. Okay, that's on you. That's the person who you open the scissors to. And brother, that's who you picked. So, hey, do something about it. Stay together or don't be together or whatever. That's on you. That's between you and the Most High. But we not finna keep dealing with it. I'm not finna counsel nobody a 1,000 times. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm not counseling people 1,000 times. It's not happening. Go figure it out like two grown-ups at home. And then come back when you're ready. That's how I'll know if you're really understanding this Bible. We got thousands of lessons for you to figure this thing out, since our counsels is not good enough for you. Huh? That's your shelter. That's a part of your shelter at home. That husband and that wife. Not just the roof. Your husband is your shelter of protection. Your wife is your husband. I mean, your a woman of, hey, when you don't got to go out there and fornicate and be some adulterer or whoremonger somewhere. All right?
With the company touting safety, demonstrated the truck's ability to weave through obstacles and avoid pedestrians.
We want to be out there with thousands or tens of thousands of trucks on the road. And to do that, we have to be safe.
A new federal safety regulation will require all the cars and trucks be equipped with automatic emergency braking, or AEB systems, which use sensors to hit the brakes to avoid a crash when the driver fails to. Most new vehicles already have some of these automatic braking forms that the automakers have until 2029 to adopt with these new standards.
All right, so let me tell you. We just read in Daniel about the daily sacrifice being taken away. That's just one of the situations where you're going to go in there. There's not going to be any people working at the registers. Like I said, we have a few years. Is everybody going to be able to be that six-figure person? Is everybody going to be able to be that, millionaire? No. But the strong has to bear the infirmities of the weak. Right now, I'm being strong, bearing some of the infirmities of the weak, teaching people through my mistakes, teaching people through the things that I've went through, teaching people through our forefathers' mistakes, being a messenger, showing those things, being an example, doing some of these things. And I'm a young man. I'm only 39. I haven't even reached my prime yet. But I realize if something is coming, it's either I'm going to fall down like a weak man, or I'm going to stand up like a lion and do the best I can. At least if I die or something happens, I was doing the best that I could. I'm not just like, yeah, I know Yeshua coming. I already know he's coming. But I'm afraid if I'm not doing something, knowing he's coming. That's the part. That's the different mindsets that that some of us have. Some people think like we can just be here and exist. No soul was created to be here and just exist. No soul was. We all can do better, guys. I'm going to open it up. I know we had, and I hope everybody, I know we're getting deep here, but I hope everyone had a great first fruits before we go into some of these calls. Look at these beautiful brothers, these beautiful young brothers when they get up there, you know, reading the scriptures before the elders get up there and teach. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at these. Listen, this is who we have to be examples for. This is who we have to be examples for. Look at this beautiful wedding that just happened. Look, these are some of the works. These are some of the works that's been going on. Look at that sister looking like Queen Esther up there. That sister come all the way from Africa. And guess what? A boy from the South with the goals in his mouth. He done picked her up and married her. In the G.O.C.C. Houston. I made a joke. I said, some of them boys from the South with the goals in their mouth. Now I'm joking. I was messing with them, man. But I was so encouraged to see works coming. Right? Brother, let me tell you, brothers is buying land and doing all type of things. Look at my sister Yada. Another beautiful marriage. This is what this thing is about. First fruits. That's what this thing is about, guys. That's what I'm talking about. I know his marriages are all over the place. That's what, hey, the Most High said be fruitful and multiply. And hey, you better do it while you have time. Because the time is actually moving. I'm getting ready to open it up for calls. Let's see if Elder Rawchaa wants to come in really quick before we get these calls. Let me see. I wanted to see if there was any other thing I wanted to show here. Let me see here. Oh yeah, there's a few. There's another thing I wanted to show here. 1 second, if you guys don't mind. Why we need to be careful for our food. Is it going to play the volume? There we go. Fair use for educational purposes only. Now, I'm telling people we need to be very careful and appreciate that we have the basics, because the native Indians, which are from the tribe of Gad, they call these people indigenous and all that. Let me tell you, these people are Israelites. All of the so-called indigenous people, they only had a certain type of fruit, a certain type of vegetables, and they had to be thankful for that. They didn't have all of these diverse cucumbers year-round, this and that. Some people had only amaranth, and they made a living off of what they had. It's coming to that type of time. But whatever you save, that's what you eat. Whatever you grow, that's what you eat. Whatever you have to barter, that's it. Unless you want to go up in there and eat some of this lab stuff. That's what it's coming to. So if they did it, we can do it. And we got more technology. But that's just going to take more more spirit for us to be able to be disciplined and be able to be appreciative to do things like this. So yeah, I'm just telling you how this thing could go. It's not going to be a cushion in every situation. It's not going to be a cushion in every situation is what I'm trying to tell y'all. I know we hope that, but that's just not reality. It wouldn't. Let me tell you, guys, please listen, please. You going to the restaurant, you spending your money on this food. You better examine it. You don't have to be disrespectful, but if you're paying your hard-earned money for something, examine where you're going, what you're paying your money for. Eating out now is a luxury. Because you can go to your favorite restaurant, and let me tell you what can happen. If you got children in the room, just cover their ears and let them out for a second, because this is a little crazy. I don't know if this is a scorpion poison or these demons just getting more and more let out. You got people eating. You got a brother in California eating a person's face. Y'all didn't see that report that came out? Eating a person's face again. Y'all don't remember that happened years ago? I think that happened over like 20 years ago, that a person was eating a person's face in Atlanta or something like that. Now we have it again. I think they was blaming it at that time about bath salts. Person eating a person's face, and in the article it said that allegedly this person saying some type of demon told him that he need to go and take out some person named Drake or something like that. But he said he didn't even know who Drake was. And then all of a sudden, they talking about Drake's security got shot and all that. Let me tell you guys, that's how you know this so-called beef is a total distraction. And it's all made up. Kendrick Lamar ain't sending no hitters nowhere. I mean, what do y'all think this is? This thing is made up, guys, to keep you guys distracted. Pay attention to where you go to eat. That's why I say, you know what, where I live, I can make me a little pizza oven like they do in Italy. Make me a little smoker, smoke my own meat. Make me an area where I can slaughter my own meat. You know, hey, it may be a boring life to you, but it's not a boring life to me. Because I'm eating clean, because I love what my God did. I love the way that our God told us that we should be. I love it. You know why? Because I know it's something that's going to make me last long and not kill me. You tell somebody something, you could tell a sister, hey, I like you with your natural self. A sister going to argue you to death about it. Men, for the most part, don't even care about, hey, you can do what you want. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just giving you an example. Men don't, I personally never cared about a woman having French tips and all that. As long as her nails was clean. As long as her breath didn't stink. Hey, as long as she kept her hair clean, I didn't care about no weave. As a matter of fact, I used to tell my mom when I was a kid, Mom, you don't need all that makeup. When I was a kid, I'm like, you already pretty. And I preferred some chapstick or lip balm. I don't like red. I don't like red lipstick. I don't like red pop. That's me though. I didn't like these type of things. That's just not my personal style. But a lot of men don't care for all of that. As long as you keeping yourself clean, you smell like a woman, you act like a lady. Men, I don't know what you guys are hearing out there. Maybe you're hearing it from men who can't actually get women. Men who can't get women gonna tell you they're gonna tell you all the fake stuff on you is good so they can deal with you. And guess what? When they get with you because they lied to you and deceived you, you are taking care of them now. Oh yeah, girl, you so fine. Oh yeah, man, that Negro don't know what he talking about. Nah, man, keep your hat. That's yeah. Guess what? And I'm not saying that sisters who has to deal with some of these things because they may have some alopecia issues or some scalp issues that I don't know. There's so many different situations. Some people have got burned. So they need that wig or they need that head cover, whatever they choose. I'm not saying they should choose the wig. I choose the head cover, but whatever they choose, that's on them in their own household. But I'm mature enough to understand that some people got burned who needs makeup. I'm mature enough to know that some people had different situations going on. But we talking about sisters who doesn't actually need this thing. They will argue you to death. When the other men like it, I don't know what they told you. But men who can actually get women don't care about that. We don't. Those men who want you to take care of them will tell you anything you want to hear because they know you're going to be the helpmeet and the man. And all they got to do is sit up and play the PlayStation and get some loving every now and then. Just telling you how it really goes. All right? I hope I didn't put some salt in some of y'all game, man.
Houston, where many people are talking about a former employee of the Houston restaurant Culture has been arrested. This is after being accused of having child on his phone and committing other lewd acts like placing his in food at the business, according to court documents. Tonight, we speak exclusively with the restaurant's owner. But first, some background. According to...
That's an Israelite doing that. So don't, let me tell you, all Israel is not Israel. Yeah, this is my black brother, man. Don't do nothing. Oh, the cops is beating him. Let me tell you, he need a beating if he doing this. Every time we see some man, going through something, let me tell you, he need his butt whipped for this. He wasn't getting a whipping when he was a child. He need his butt whipped for this. You got blessed with a blessing to have a job, and you're putting your situation on someone's food, brother. You lucky I don't go to jail tonight for putting my hands on you. Because people right now are angry who went to this restaurant. People are getting checked up and all that. So you like, yeah, girl, we going out. Yeah, I just spent $100 on the food last night. Oh yeah, you spent you spent $100. But guess what? Kinfolk right here who would tell you everything look pretty on you. That's what he doing. Huh? Watching your children online.
Court documents, the former employee has been identified as 28-year-old Othello Holmes.
Now, we know this is a demon in this dude, but I'm still saying, you got some people who's like, man, that's my black brother. Evil is evil, good is good.
Culture's manager showed deputies
of
Holmes putting his genitals in jelly. Eventually, Holmes confessed and said he had other sexual urges and said he'd done it before with other foods at the business. He went on to say
he'd done it before with other foods at the business. Huh? Yeah. That fettuccine Alfredo or something like that.
He never ejaculated into the food. That also led investigators to...
Now, he had to tell him he never, you know what, into the food. But I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't believe any of that, personally.
Search his phone, where they found more than 100 images and videos of child. Holmes' bond is now set at $500,000. Restaurateur Marcus Davis joins us now with an exclusive update.
The owner of Cultures of Houston sits down with Fox 26 and he explains.
Look what the name of the restaurant is called. Yeah, we're gonna go support black. We're gonna go support black. Yeah, guess what it's called? Culture. You know that's black owned. I mean, we can't have nothing, man. We can't have nothing.
All of the safety protocols that they have taken in order to kind of mitigate some of that damage.
Now, I'm not going to ask you a dumbass question, Marcus, like how to...
Whoa. I'm sorry about that. This dude is a total newscaster. This is the most ghetto newscaster ever. This is a dude, now I remember, he's the one who's saying you understand foul language when bugs came on him when he was doing live news. Lord have mercy. I tell you, Houston can be a little ghetto. I tell you right now.
This happened. Right. The appropriate question is, when you found out, what did you do? And to put this into context for the viewers, this didn't happen today. No, it didn't. A couple of weeks ago, it came to our attention that one of our former employees had committed some unmentionable acts, something that went against the code of conduct of our company and goes against the brand standards of who we are and what we're about. And as soon as we found this out, we took immediate action. We went to the unit. We shut it down. We evacuated all of the staff except the cleaning crew. We cleared out all of the refrigeration, sanitized.
I'm just laughing. I'm sorry, because I don't know how Isaiah still got a job. Like, it's multiple. Cause he be trying to talk professional and white and all that. Yeah. But this dude is straight hood. I'm gonna tell you right now, he probably be getting high with the rappers and all that. I'm like, dude, how you still got a job?
The unit, we terminated the employee and we called the police to have the employee arrested.
And shout out to the owner for his quick action and quick thinking in regards to the safety protocols that were in place after they found out what they found out. Not only does that mean throwing out all of their produce, which cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars to even obtain, but completely sanitizing the entire restaurant from top to bottom and then calling the police on that employee. Now again, he does state that they found out about this about 2 weeks ago. So if you were ever eating in that restaurant anytime between, I would say, January and now, please just go get tested for your own safety.
Hey, my sister, we appreciate you for that news, but you need to take that bonnet off when you're doing that news. I'm going to be honest with you. Thank you so much, though. Listen, stop walking into these places with these bonnets on, like these slippers. I'm going to be honest, that's low class. It's peasantry. Change your game. I'm sorry. Put a head wrap on. You got to stop that stuff. It's just certain things that we think that's okay. That's not Israelitish. Deuteronomy 7:6 say, for thou art a holy people. We got to change. I mean, it's just like, come on now. Who are we asking to be? Great news, though. Let me see if I can find my brother here. Let me see if I can find my brother here. See if he wants to leave a comment. I ain't been on Skype in a long time. Let me see here. Yo, you rock. If you're listening on there, what's your Skype, brother? Can you just call in? Let me see. Let me see here. One second, guys. One second, you rock. One second. One second, guys. I'm trying to get Elder Rawchaa in here. Give me one moment. Let me see if he sees my message before we start getting this call in. Unless he could just call in. Well, I'm gonna open it up for calls until he I'm gonna open it up for calls. See if you guys have, you know, comments or questions on the food, shelter, and raiment. Either what are you doing to get in front of these things, or do you have a comment? Whatever the case may be. All right, and I want to keep it under 2 minutes. Oh, there we go. 1 second. 1 second. I ain't been on Skype in so long. I apologize, guys. I don't know why I can't seem to see this. I do. I literally. Father have mercy. Y'all bear with me 1 second. I don't know, this thing updated. I don't see that. It's not pulling up. Let me try that. One second, y'all. We're gonna get it together. Elder Rawchaa, I don't know why it's not pulling you up. They don't want you to come on. I might need you to call in, Elder Rawchaa. Let me type him my name because I don't know why. One second. All right, so I'm gonna open it up for calls while we try to get Elder Rawchaa in here. Let me close this window here. All right, guys. This is the call-in number 281-973-6872. 281-973-6872. 281-973-6872. We're gonna open up it for calls really quick. I was trying to get Elder Rawchaa in, but I don't know why the Skype is not actually finding him. It's really easy to find him. I don't get why that's even happening like that. Like All right, we got a caller from 704 area code. Shalom.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, my brother. This is Brother Kayan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How are you doing, my brother? You want to leave a question or comment? What you got for me tonight?
Oh, yes, sir. I got a comment, and also double honors to you, Elder, and double honors to Elder Rawchaa, Elder Dale, Elder Lamar, Elder Lawya, Elder Rawchaa. Double honors to the leadership, and Elder Hannah.
All praises.
Elder, even what you were saying earlier, as far as what are we doing as far as like trying to make sure that we maintain our food. It's a scripture that real quick I wanted to read is John 6 and 35. Really, because we got to understand that that's the reason why what you're talking about our works. Our works is going to be able to get us to the next step as far as like preserving our food and and saving our food up. And
give me.
Yes, sir.
One second.
Yes, sir.
All right. So give me an example of some works that you're talking about. Give the people an example of some works you think are good for this time.
Oh, good. Okay. Still.
What are some works you're doing right now for this time?
I'm constantly talking to people, giving out information toward the church. I'm constantly speaking with people. Got my son. I'm training him up the way that he should go. We praying 3 times a day. Also I'm talking my water up. I'm making sure I have food that's not going to that's going to last. Maybe like noodles or pancake mix.
So you're storing up your preserves, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well that's good. That's
Yes,
good.
sir.
That's good. Let me ask you a question. Do you see yourself in the same position within the next 4 years?
No, sir. I'm actually trying
You don't gotta.
to
You gotta put yourself personal things out there. We don't want everybody to know your plans like that. But do you see yourself
right
in the same position? I think this is a question that we all need to ask ourselves. If we're still in the same position every year, what are we actually doing? So that's why I asked that question. So I'm glad you answered no. Right? All praises to the Most High.
Yes, sir.
So I'm glad that you are actually trying to be an example for your son, trying to spread the gospel, trying to follow the law, because that's one of the obviously the most important thing. The Bible says that those that be left behind, they have faith and works in 2nd Ezra. Right? So it didn't just say faith alone, which is zeal. It's a belief that you can do something, but you never apply it. So that's why Christ is coming back angry with some people, because they actually have a zeal, but they do not, they have, they really don't ever apply it. That's the issue. So I appreciate, once again, you understand you calling in, and I got to get your rock up in here. All right. So I thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I thank you, my brother.
Water,
yes, sir. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, so that brother, he always calls in fervent, always on fire. You understand? And one second, I think this might be Elder Rawchaa here. Shalom, Rawchaa.
Shalom, yes sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing, my brother? You wanna leave any type of wisdom on tonight's show, man? We're talking about tonight, what me and you've been talking about, just this food, shelter, and raiment, and how some people are not taking it as serious. It's almost like it's just a song that people are listening to when these things are coming out, and the Most High is showing us all of these different news articles, whether these shootings are real or not, whether these food articles are real or not. I think they are coming out so that we can actually see them and get in front of these things to actually be able to make it through this time. What say you?
Well, far as, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me get this guy pulled up properly here. One second. All right. As far as I'm concerned, here's the thing, and I hope brothers and sisters really hear us out here, because you know I do see a lot of things, and this is just me. I can't, and really, in my opinion, it's really a thing that men and women, especially men, need to incorporate, and that's knowing when you're making too many excuses. And I'm giving an example, and this is not to boast, this is just an example, and I was just examining it while you were talking on something that both me and you have in common that we can kind of laugh at after I reveal this, I'm sure. One thing that happened with me this year, a lot of brothers and sisters didn't even know it, since maybe about August, and really before that, I was sick as a dog. I was going through some old ailments in my gut and things, and I ended up in the hospital. And I mean, severely in a bad situation. I had to move apartments, and I had some great brothers that helped me move. I couldn't move a single box. That's how messed it was. I was down to about 138 pounds. I lost all kinds of weight. And, you know, I didn't take it as a, oh, woe is me moment.
Right.
All I could think of in my head was, what do I do now, Most High? I gotta be here to help the people. How am I gonna function like this?
Right.
And it became an obsession, and to the point where, and I want people to understand this. Look, and this is what the part I was talking about that's funny about those who work out. For example, me and Elder Rawchaa, and the way we worked out. When you work out, if you have an injury, you try to find a way around that injury to still work out. It's not a thing like you can just completely lay off usually. You know? You just can't help it. You don't know. Somehow you won't work out. It was the same way with me, even when I got sick and I examined that. I mean, brothers and sisters, I was losing weight, and as I was losing weight, I was still trying to figure out, how can I do some push-ups? How can I do this or that? And I'm just getting sicker, and it's like, okay, listen, brother, you got to calm down a little bit. But at the same time, it kept me in the right mindset. And even when I would be in a mindset of, oh man, this is getting heavy, I had brothers around me to keep me positive, sisters praying, brothers, you know what I mean? So I want people to understand this. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing that you're going to experience that somebody else didn't experience. Don't think that you're the only one with a disability or health issue, because you have no idea what others are going through.
Right.
And still put the responsibility on themselves to pull it together, because other people are more important than themselves. That's the thing. When you dwell on your own personal issues and what's going on in the world with me, that means you're putting yourself before everyone else.
That's powerful.
And yeah, that's a fact. Like this, you're literally making your, and you know, because I'll give you a hint of this, and a lot of you experience this with others. When somebody's going through something in their own personal life, it's one of the first things they say. You just don't understand. You ain't been through this. You just don't understand. As if no one else is, listen, as if we all don't come from bad neighborhoods or bad experience with parents or sisters or brothers. There's always a story. Somebody's got to understand it somewhere, and still is not making the same excuse you're making.
Yes, sir.
So I want to emphasize that. This is the second time in my life where the Most High spared me, and I had to go out to him and say, listen, I thank you for that. This is the second time. When people talk about being close to death and all that, listen, I already been there. So you're not telling me nothing. I've already felt pain. You're not telling me nothing. You understand? So I feel for you, because I've been in those situations too, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But at the same time, just like brothers have been there, and that's why I thank the Most High for people like Elder Rawchaa, Elder Rawchaa, other brothers that I reach out to and say what's up and how you doing, and just regular checking. All that stuff keeps me positive. And I see the things they're doing positive. I'm like, listen, I got to get on this then. Dude, he telling me the other day his children was doing 100 jump squats. I'm like, oh, what is wrong with me? I need to train even harder. So, you know, if kids are doing this, I got to be doing that. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, sir.
That's just the way my mind rolls. Like, listen, there's a kingdom that we all must take our real estate in, take up real estate in, and it doesn't come by observation. You're not going to just look around and see what everybody else is doing and get your reward. So when we telling you this, we're telling you, brothers and sisters, out of love. Like, listen, been there, done that. If somebody says, well, you don't know, I'm from the streets, man, I went through this, I went through prison. Listen, we got plenty of brothers that have been through that. Okay?
Listen,
And
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of young brothers think that that's something that, that they need to throw around to be some tough guy. Like, listen, you can use that in a positive way, but that's not scaring anybody. We already got people who have been through that. Like, you know what I mean? So I remember you were there for me when I injured my knee when we first went to Egypt. I couldn't really, sometime I couldn't finish jogging, and, when we were in the Hebrew Academy, and my butt, it's just something in certain people, brother. I don't know. I know we're trying to motivate people to get this thing, but it's something in some of us where we get injured or we get hurt or we're down. We like, I got to fight till I'm no more. I mean, I was trying to run with the 5 gallon, no, was it 5 gallon? I don't know what it was. Yeah, I think it was like 5 gallon water jugs or something. The big water jugs. I don't know what they weigh, but I'm trying to run up 5 flights of stories in the building we lived in. I was pushing it a little too hard to where the Most High had to tell me, listen, boy, you need to sit down. You're doing a little bit too much. My knee giving out where I can't walk sometime, but these brothers had to help me, sit me on the sidewalk and all type of stuff. But I was on crutches when I messed my ankle up. Here it is. My wife looking at me crazy like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, man, I'm going to go hit this bench. I got one leg working. I got my arms working. I'm going downstairs. So I would hop downstairs with the cast on, and I'm still doing the best I can with what I have. And I guess me seeing people in wheelchairs, these wheelchairs, events and all these different things, I learned at a young age. When I saw that, I'm like, I can never make excuses. So to hear you say this, and people, throw things around like, oh, this person's small, this and that. You never know what someone's going through, and you don't know the fight that they're still pushing through before you say certain things. So, yeah, I totally understand, my brother.
Absolutely. But check it out. This is the thing. And see, I think this is another thing people need to understand before they say, well, I need to go to this country, that country. Listen, we already did it. And the point of doing it was so we could be he-goats before the flocks, like the scriptures tell you. We would be like that. So we've given you the game on what needs to happen for yourselves and your families, to just keeping it real with you, being that we were in third world countries.
Yeah.
We telling you based off of what we experienced. We wasn't just trained. Listen, nobody was just training just to train for the fun of it, even though, once you find out fun parts to it. Listen, we were dealing with reality. You don't know what you're going to be into tomorrow just trying to get yourself to work in a third world country, okay? Let alone this country. This country is just, it's not worse sometimes, or a lot of times, to be honest. By the way. So when you tell you this stuff, we just, first of all, think in practical means. When we're saying lose weight, don't take offense. Don't take offense if we're saying train, because we're saying it out of love. Like, listen, even in practical sense, I was in many years when I was a young man, I did law enforcement and stuff like that. And the one thing I know is when the chips is down, because I remember, mind you, I had midnight shift hours, brothers and sisters. That means it was about 5 people working. If a call came in and it was 300 people fighting, guess who was there by themselves or with one other person? And when I say that, I'm not saying that as a made-up example. I'm talking about a literal example. Went to a situation. It was 500, it was about 300 to 500 people out there in the dark, because it was some weird, you know how kids get involved in stuff.
Yeah.
There's some young folks there, college probably or whatever, and they're fighting it like out, like whatever. This is what happens with alcohol and everything gets involved. The medics that got there first, they called for us to come down there, okay, and they're literally locked in their little vehicle. They ain't about to get out at all. So this is the situations I'm trying to tell you about. When we say, get in shape and all that, listen, imagine you got to now go toe to toe with hundreds of people potentially. You got all these fast cats running around, and so I tell you, being big is great for certain scenarios, but you become a target when it becomes all these fast little cats running around with potential weapons. Right. So, and it's not about it's about dealing with realism. When you're dealing with third world countries, when you're dealing with the scenarios that are going to be coming here eventually, if we're really paying attention, Okay, there's not a bunch of people where in those times that don't deal with the realism of being in some kind of shape. You understand? So we not saying again, and just for regular reference, if you have to pull a relative out of your house, in an emergency, maybe the house is on fire, I don't know, before the fire people get there, how you gonna do that if y'all ain't in shape?
Right.
So it's just understand when we say stuff, it's just like the brothers in the scriptures. It isn't always the most fashionable thing to say, but it's out of love. There's nothing I'm gonna tell you when it comes to this survival thing that doesn't have to do with love first, and that's Elder Rawchaa as well. Like we are realistic. We know our people don't want to hear certain things, even though the other nations, they already doing this stuff. They already know what time it is. Pay attention. You'll notice they're already starting to get away from these cities. They're getting into their little areas, and they're training.
Right.
So just for the sake of your health, just take these things into real estate. It doesn't mean you got to be, some MMA fighter. Nothing like that.
Right.
No, that's don't take it to the extreme. You're just saying be realistic, understanding the times we're in. And I think that was my major points. Man, just understand we love y'all, brothers. Like I said, I was going through a whole bunch of stuff, and I was still in councils. People were talking about all this little carnal stuff, all upset, and I wasn't even telling them what I was going through.
And their problem seems so big when they don't even know what you're going through.
Right. They talking about little things that you would think is the end of the world for them. They think it's the end of the world. I literally was facing that already. So I literally, Elder Rawchaa had to tell me to take a just chill back for a second. We'll have somebody help you out with these counsels for a second because it was getting real. Like it's like, yo, these people, they out of their mind sometimes. I love Israel, but we're a little crazy sometimes. It's like. And we can let's be real. Some of us can be a little bit ungrateful, and it's nothing. It is what it is. We still going to do this work regardless. We know there's a process that people have to go through, but just put that out there. But since we telling you this stuff, take it in. And for those that say, because I did see, sometimes people that other nations don't understand some of the psychology that came with a lot of these hair things and things that sisters go through. Think of it this way, for those that may have been other nations, right? To help you understand this. If you're from another country, for example, and you're another nation, there's certain standards of beauty that come with your country. For example, from India, they may like a little thicker woman in a certain sense, or whatever case may be, for certain parts of that culture. They may like certain things, nose rings and different things, whatever. I'm just giving examples. It's the same thing being here in the States for sisters and brothers. There's a certain standard that has been set. It's been set. A lot of it's been set since we was still in chains somewhere. So even though it's an unspoken thing that some of us may not see because we may be of other situations, we have to understand that it exists. No different than, I'll give you the quick example, then I'll turn it over back to Elder Rawchaa because I don't want to take his situation right now. I'm just speaking.
No, you good, brother. Go, yeah.
I just want to give this example because I was thinking about it earlier to help with this. When it comes to, for example, the way they portray us on TV, oh, these guys, they're always smoking, they're always doing this, selling this or that. That became what we were known for. But as soon, I'm going to show you how it was really just a matter of perception and not the reality of what's going on. As soon as it was convenient to make things like marijuana, for example, legal, you saw all the other nations in line, outside these dispensaries, in line, the same way we used to see our parents and brothers and sisters and relatives standing in line for crack cocaine in the 80s.
It's true.
A lot of people don't know that. In law enforcement, they used to call it an open air market. People would sit in lines around this building that the drug dealers decided to make their place to sell it out of for the day. And they would have I don't want to call it a fire sale, but they would have so much to give out that particular day because the shipment from not our people, But some other people came into our neighborhoods and they were able to make bank. Well, now that's happening with the dispensaries. I was up in Jersey, and let me tell you, I saw, and I'm just going to be real with Esau, around the block, waiting for and I'm talking about every week, waiting for the marijuana spots to open, looking just like we did in the 80s. So it's not, even though the media portrayed it as if we were just some degenerate, shiftless people that just couldn't stay off of drugs. The reality is when you put people in a situation like they're doing with the other nations now, where now you're having to now find out different ways to make money because you're starting to struggle a little bit, people are doing foreclosures, then the drugs become a place to escape reality. Well, they did that to us in the 80s. Mm-hmm. They're just doing it to everybody now.
Yeah,
everybody.
You got these East Indians or these shamans or over these CBD joints and all that.
Yes, but it was all propaganda to make us seem like, and we know who's running the media, who's the prince of the power of the air, to make us seem like we just had some unique problem, and they're still doing it to this day because we're at the end and we're waking up, but we had some unique problem that no one could ever figure out. But now it's coming on everybody else. So if you really want to understand why sisters or why brothers, there's certain complexes and you don't understand maybe this chemical or something, how somebody could put this in here, listen, all you have to do is understand what they're doing to you now. No different than if I want to understand someone else's struggle with sin, all I have to do is look at my sin that I struggled with and understand what can come with that, how hard it can be. It's the same thing. You just got to put it in your own parallels to understand how that works out, because it'll make perfect sense when you do that. You know, it's not. We're definitely the people. It does not. What's going on with us now will not reflect what you see in that kingdom. It's going to be amazing there for all nations. So I want to emphasize that.
That was powerful, man. We appreciate the testimony. We appreciate the wisdom, and I'm glad that I have to bring the elders on sometime more as I get freed up from what I'm doing, because it's not just me saying it, or it's not just you. It's like we've been through these things. Yeah, we haven't been through everything, but we've been through enough to show you when it comes to this spiritual walk, this is what's actually changing our people. This is what's actually helping our people. So if we've been to the other side of the world to see like shutdowns and electricity off and what I mean, things that people take for granted, like what we're talking about tonight, food, shelter, and raiment, where you got to walk up 20 flights of stairs. You going upstairs with your groceries, expecting the elevator to be on. You got 2 hands full of groceries, so the wife don't have to carry much because she might got the baby or something. And before you know it, the whole electricity shuts off. Now you got to walk the rest of the flights up. It's just things that people take for granted. The so-called revolution that happened, and you see a lot of cats who. Yeah, they came out of Babylon, but then they ran when this actual stuff happened, or whatever the case may be. No offense, but it's just we got to be ready for real scenarios. And then you can train, and when you guys train out there, you can train all of this super duper television type of stuff. But the reality is, this stuff doesn't necessarily work in a real life situation. So, most high willing, we can go into some of these things in the future, but man, thank you once again, Elder Rawchaa. If you have anything else, my brother, you can go ahead. But if not, I guess we're going to pick up some more calls.
Well, one more have thing, because you just brought something else up. It comes down to, brothers, this is what we're trying to really give you through the most Spirit of the Most High, hopefully. And it just comes down to character of an individual. I've seen larger cats. As soon as when the real stuff that broke out, they were ready to fly. Literally, I need to get on the next plane. I need to get on the next plane. Like, brother, you do know they're recording all those people on the plane. Why don't you get on your own personal plane if that's what you're going to do? But
right.
No, that's free. I got to get on. Listen, I'm telling you right now, it's about your character. Building that character through righteousness, through them scriptures, it's not going to matter what happens. The scriptures tell you that when in reality, love is what's going to cancel out that fear. So you have to develop that. It's not a pageant. It's not something to be glorified. It's just reality of having real love for other people, not that fake mess.
Right.
Like some people want somebody just to say "I love you" all day to them, when the reality is love is more so action.
Yeah.
If I'm willing to give my life for this person, that's a lot more love than the person
Yeah.
just telling me something.
And guess what? Powerful what you said, because we can actually show, if we would put, to a certain degree, if you will put your life on the line for a person, for your actions now. You can't tell me, you know what I mean, you love me just with words, but then I see this other brother or sister always going out their way for me. Which person is more than likely to put their life on the line for this person, people? So we have to think about these type of things, and we can start now, not thinking we get to the wilderness or whatever next situation that we're just going to jump up and be able to do these things now. Like, man, when I get to the wilderness, I'm going to start getting in shape, or I'm going to start eating healthy. You know what I mean? I don't know if things are going to realistically go that way, guys. So that's why we're trying to prepare you just to be realistic, right? And take advantage of the times, because we're not living a fairy tale. It's just not a fairy tale. You understand? You guys don't see me when I'm out here doing all of this work. You know what I mean? And just trying to learn and go through these things. But it's going to take us all pulling together. But you got to pull together in your own household first, with your own self. You know what I mean? First. And Elder Rawchaa, he's one of those guys, like, for him to not be able to do a push-up, that's rough. You know what I mean? For him to not be able to do a push-up, I know he's going through it. So I know I got to pray even just on that note, outside of just the health. So, but we all go through these things sometime, guys, but it's going to it's going to define who you are and how you apply yourself when you go through these things. Paul got stoned. He got shipwrecked. He still got up and do the gospel. Here it is, Elder Rawchaa going through all of this, trying to handle counsels. You know what I mean? He's like, listen, I'm going to do the work till it's over. But some of us be like, man, I'm going through it, you know, and you just lie down. But this, I think we got this thing to think that the Most High is just letting us in because we feel bad about something, or because we went through something, or we playing victim. This is actually not the truth of the gospel, guys. So, Elder Rawchaa, my brother, thank you, my elder, once again, for coming on. We're going to have to bring you on some more, my brother, so you can drop some more of that wisdom on us for the people, so we can get our people ready for what's going on. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
My man.
Have a good evening.
You too now, my man. Shalom. 276 area code.
Hi, Elder. Thank you for taking my call. This is Michelle Anderson. I'm actually a new listener to your broadcast, so I appreciate catching a live.
I'm sorry, we was on the phone with Elder Rawchaa. I seen you calling in. Where are you from?
From Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
And if you all have any type of congregation out here, please let me know, because I don't have a place to fellowship right now. But this subject is actually very near and dear to my heart, because
well, before you do that, just write down my email, so you can send an email, so I can get you to the body that's in that area there. It is Elder. Just let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, it's Elder. AHRAYA. Elder Rawchaa. It's not having an H on there, but my name is spelled with H, but just put it without the H. So it's AHRAYA, and then it's just at gmail.com. So it's Elder Rawchaa at gmail.com.
Okay.
Email me, and that way I can get you in contact with the church we got out there in Phoenix.
Can I repeat this back to you just to make sure I properly understood? So Elder AHARYA at Gmail?
Yep. AHRAYA. Yep. At gmail.com.
Okay.
So, okay, I'm sorry about that. So what were you going to tell us?
So, I think it's interesting. Again, this is a heavy thing for me right now, or it has been for the past 7 years. I don't think that maybe we're oriented. I think with all the distractions and epigenetics and basic survival, all of these things that we're having to factor in our captivity, that sometimes we have to maybe step back and be willing to burn it all down to even reorient ourselves to being able to make this walk as perfected as possible.
Yeah.
So, when you talk about the things like the hair and all of these other things, it's even, I think for some, even just to get to that part of the journey is is probably a major step. But I can speak for myself, and I won't keep you long, that one of the things that I had to be willing to do was even leave my family for a time. Sell a business. Even take a job with less pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just so that I could sort of prepare myself in my body, make more time for being able to work out, make more time for being able to fast, to pray, all of these factors that are going to build you up. And it's still a struggle. I still require prayer. I still need, I'm a young widow, so, I don't have the covering, right? So these major decisions in my life that I would have a partner for, even though my boys are grown, they're not even at the place where they can even make those decisions for themselves with family. So I have to pray for them, right? And there are all these things that I think that as women in this walk, that maybe, there should be a greater union for preparing as well.
Well, I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad you were honest about it, because even though we are doing these things, sometimes we still get tired. Sometimes we still can get lazy. Our job is to stop ourselves from getting lazy, stop ourselves from doing things we're not supposed to do. That's why Christ had to say, he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. In Ezra, it talks about this is the battle that one person shall overcome. It's never not going to be a battle. It's always going to be there. You just become better at it. But even when you become better at it, it still will always be a battle where sometimes it's like, man, you still on your stuff? Like, you know what, man, this just happened to me. And then that person may have to encourage you to get right back on it. So this is just the reality. I had things happening. My family went through a hailstorm. Guess what? I couldn't work out for 2 weeks. Do you know how much that bothered me? I mean, my sleep was more horrible because now I'm not working out, because when you work out, your blood flow in your body. And guess what? If you have injuries as a person, and you don't work out, it makes you become more painful. You hurt more. For some of us, to keep injuries that we have to work out. I mean, so your hormones for men and women becomes off. And you need your hormones balanced actually to actually be able to operate with the Most High, especially for sisters or brothers who doesn't have a mate with them. I mean, life in itself is rough. So working out, keeping yourself in shape, it plays like one of the biggest parts in your life, more than diet. I'm gonna be honest with you. People live longer who work out more than diet. I know it sounds crazy, but I hear sisters sometimes tossing this thing out because they don't want to work out. All you have to do is eat healthy. No, you don't. You have to do both. And you should do both as best as you can. But skeletal muscle is one of the most important things than anything when it comes to this temple in this body. Because if you're too weak to lift up a book to read, you can eat all the vegetables you want to. But if you're too weak to pick up a book to read, you understand, let me tell you, it's nothing you can be able to do. You can't fend for yourself. You can't run. You can't do anything. So that's how important it is to actually be able to keep our blood flow, keep our joints, ligaments, and tendons moving, stretched. So I'm glad you put that out there that, hey, even though I'm doing it, guess what? I still need prayer. It's still a struggle. But guess what? I'm going to keep, the main point is Christ wants to see us when he come back working and still have not given up, still constantly fighting. And we should have some progress. Yeah, we're going to be going through the war, but do we actually have progress? And as a leader, my sister, I'm not going to lie, I'm not perfect or better than anyone else, but when I'm leading sheep, I must say that sometimes I do get a little frustrated because I know Christ is going to be frustrated with these people. So I'm more frustrated at what's he going to say to this person. Look, I'm looking at their children, I'm looking at their family, and they are the leaders over their family, and they don't really get what's going on, that Christ is going to come back. Your kids may not prosper because of what you're teaching them, because of the example that you are. And I'm not just talking about working out. I'm just saying every year, every day, we should try to do better. On and on. And it's just not stopping. So I pray you get with the body so you can get some guidance. And you sound like you got your spirit in the right place. Sound like you got a positive, nice spirit. So keep that going. Keep that working out on because it helps your mood. Keep your diet on point because it's crazy out here. I mean, it's when it when it comes to food, shelter, and raiment. Let me tell you, be content. I mean, you definitely have to be thankful because everything is becoming so tainted. They had to create something called a non-GMO project just to prove that it's non-GMO. Like the non-GMO project is like real. It's actually better than something labeled organic, believe it or not. Something organic my wife just showed me this. They can have something that says organic, right? But then they put it and mix it with something else. But the main part of it was organic, but then they add something inorganic with it. So now is that actually organic? So the non-GMO project when it comes to potato chips, and I know we don't want to hear these things, but I love me some jalapeno chips. But I had to tell my kids, I don't really like the non-GMO ones, the taste of them. But once they started putting the other ones I had with GMO, I had to go to that route because my body is a temple of the Most High. And guess what? If I feel like I cannot afford these things, I can't complain. What should I do? I should work harder and build me more finances to be able to have me a better diet. But it's actually coming down to this, my sister, to where we actually have to get in front of our finances just to even eat healthy. Or if you can't, learn how to start a garden for free with your hands. Dirt is free. Well, it's not, I mean, if you got your land or whatever, but if you have to go buy dirt, you don't have to keep buying it is what I'm saying. You can eat that way, or you have to get in front of your finances because we reap what we sow. If you want to eat certain things of food that you save, you have to get in front of that. And I'm going to tell people something that, and we're going to go into it, this year. Me and my wife are going to go into it. That one of the most important things you guys need to be saving out there is grain. Non-GMO grain. And I'm going to go into why. Because a lot of people are going to save grain and don't know what to do with it or how to actually make it efficiently and successfully. You got people out there making natural bread. That's good. But making grain is an actual skill. Meaning like actually grinding it and know how to make biscuits or pancakes or certain breads. You have to have different types of grains to mix with different types of raw grains to actually make it how we're eating it today. So we're going to go into that powerful lesson this year on why Joseph stored grain. It's going to be mind-blowing. We're not just bringing some basic facts of some sister in the kitchen just baking some bread. It's deeper than that. I'm going to tell you the diabolical thing that they did when it comes to the daily bread and why that's actually in the prayer. So thank you for calling in, my sister.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for your feedback.
It's good to hear a sister who sound like a sister because some of our sisters be out there rough. I mean, good Lord. Hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, good Lord. Thank you.
Well, and I do want to encourage, one last thing, I do want to encourage my sisters that are listening. I've always been athletic. My whole family's always been athletic. But when I felt like I wasn't maybe at that second level, it took me maybe 6 months to really sort of feel my way back into it. It doesn't take long. It's a shift, but you got to give something up to get there. So, I just want to be encouraging in that way. But we should definitely be thinking about how we can support ladies, how we can support one another and making sure that we are ready. Thank you so much, Pastor. And Elder, excuse me. I'm so glad that I was able to catch this live and offer some input. And I hope you have a good rest of your night.
You too now. Have a blessed one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bye-bye. We have an 856 area code coming in. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, Elder. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm great. My name is Eleanor. I'm calling from Jacksonville, Florida.
You sound like you from Florida or Louisiana. You sound country. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, I am country, I guess. I guess that's what you call it. But I'm I never called in before, but I just want to thank you and bless you because you I you come on every week, and I can't miss you, and I just have to just really listen to your wisdom and how intelligent you are. I love you, and I just love the G.O.C.C. Body.
All praises be to the Most High. You guess what? I don't actually have any wisdom. It's just the Holy Spirit that I just allowed to use me as a vessel. So I thank the Most High, and I thank you for. Listen, when you congratulate me, you actually congratulate the Most High, because He's the one who gives us all wisdom. It's just those of us who allow ourselves to actually use it to do His purpose. So I thank you, my sister. And are you part of the body out there in Florida?
Well, I want to be, but I'm just not. I don't know how to get in contact with people. I mean, I've tried many times, and I don't get a call back or email. So I just watch YouTube.
Well, do me a favor and you send me an email, and I will get you in contact with the elder there, because he's Elder Fennell gonna make sure that he contacts you. I can promise you that. I mean, as long as the Most High allows me life, I talk to Fennell all the time, so he's a call away. So if you can email me like the last sister, you go to Elder Rawchaa at gmail.com. That's Elder AHRAYA at gmail.com. Yeah, did you need a pen or something to write it down?
I'm writing it down right now, sir.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
At Gmail. Okay.
Yeah, AHRAYA. So that's Elder Rawchaa at gmail.com. And I will get you in contact so you can be guided with the body and you can continue to grow. But listen, I'm doing the work of the Most High, and I'm praying that you understand that is helping you and encouraging you. And we would like you to go ahead and join our body if possible.
Well, I was in the church in California and Atlanta, Georgia. I was baptized in California, in the California body. Then I moved to Atlanta, and I was baptized in the Atlanta body. But since I moved to Jacksonville, I haven't been able to really be with the body like I want to be.
Well, we're going to fix that. That's what we're here for. We're going to fix that. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
My
so
sister, Shalom.
Shalom.
And listen, my sisters, I want to tell you guys out there, I know you're going through a lot. I know especially a lot of our sisters who ain't married, who don't got husbands, boy, I know y'all be going through a lot. But listen, you have to find that strength, that relationship with the Most High. You have to lean on the body, lean on the elders. And it comes a time where we're going to also have to have self-discipline, self-motivation. Because if we are the last people on earth, if it's only us, like we're on the book of Eli, what are we gonna do? We're either gonna swim or we're gonna drown. Come on now. 574 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Shem Allah. I'm calling from Indiana.
All right. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. So
you're a part of our body?
Chicago body. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. You're a part of Chicago body. Okay, all right. What you got for me?
You know me as Trey Hardy on Facebook. So.
Okay, my man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I just call in to encourage the brothers and sisters that it's not too hard if you set your mind to it. 5 years ago, I was in a rough spot in my life. Found out I was about to have a child. I was on detention at home, and I stumbled across the elders, and it changed my whole entire life. This understanding, the wisdom that's been brought out, it's actually through the elders, through the leadership of the church, through the lessons, it's actually grown me to become a man.
Praise the Most High.
A young man. I still have a lot of things to learn, but I just want to encourage brothers that, everything that's being brought out about whether you need to take care of your household or prep or prepare or get land or live the lifestyle that we used to live and taking care of our own food and managing our own properties and stuff. It's attainable. 5 years ago, I had none of this on my mind. And today, the Most High has blessed me because I implemented hope. I implemented the faith that he's given me through just listening and having that zeal to actually want to get and obtain and also help, because it's not just for me and it's not just for my household. You know, I understand that this time that's coming, a lot of brothers and sisters are going to have to pull together, and none of us want to be like, I think his name was Ananias and his wife or something in the New Testament, where, you know, we're trying to hide back some things because we lack faith and then end up losing the spirit because of it.
Yeah.
Like, we got to do everything we can do now in hopes that it helps somebody else in the future. And that's what drives me is I've been brought to something that is greater than man. I was at the Passover in Pittsburgh, and walking in during registration, this thought just came to me, like, this is bigger than man. Like, this is just, it is, Elder, and we all have to put that foot forward to do what we can do where we're at. And if you can do more, and don't be afraid to go. Like Abraham went, he wasn't afraid to go. He trusted in his God. And that's how we must be. And, you know, I know I'm getting long-winded, but it's attainable. I didn't have any of this on my mind. A lot of us, we're new creatures in Christ.
Right.
Like, we can do anything with him.
Come
we can
on
do
now.
anything with the commandments. So, and with the leadership that we have, we really have something greater than anybody else. It's greater than the Gentiles, greater than people who are well off, but we're just not applying it.
There you go. That's the key word. It's the applying it. And I'm glad you said it. Like, you know, you came in, you said, listen, I was inspired, you know, I did this, I did that, but that took the application. I mean, this could have just been you just listening, but you like, listen, no, let me actually go and try to apply it. And the Most High, this is what I'm trying to tell a lot of people. It's like a socket and a plug. Guess what? You got the plug in your hand the whole time. That's the Holy Spirit. It's just waiting for you to plug it in. Why are you still staring at the socket the whole time? Plug that thing in to get that electricity and let's go.
Plug it in, plug it in.
My man.
Yes, sir. Double honors, Elder. We'll be talking. I appreciate you. Keep doing the work. I know you will. And, you know, we soon shall see Zion.
My man. Thanks for calling in tonight, my brother. Shalom.
Yes, sir. Shalom.
That's a beautiful brother there. Beautiful brother, man. I love it. I love to see action. Don't you think Christ is going to come back happy if you did good? If you warred, if you tried to do your best? Do you guys know that just because you're following the commandments, everything also doesn't always happen good. It says that we shall be tried. A lot of good is going to happen now and in the kingdom, but there's also going to be a lot of tests that come along to test our patience, to test our fortitude, to test our spiritual strength. You know what I mean? So don't think I don't go through things. I don't want people to think my life is peaches and cream. When I go through it, I'm a living example as a shepherd. If it was wolves coming spiritually, if it was whatever situations, they see me with my staff fighting it off. And they don't see me crying, they don't see me complaining. And guess what? Even if I do cry, they're gonna put a hand on my shoulder and cry with me. Because they know he's a true brother. That's what you guys need to be. Back in the days, we used to have kings that stepped off the throne. You got elders that actually steps off of their seat and goes to do a lot of these things that they tell you. Like David when he went to go and fight with the people. This is not just some king sitting up there like, I need you to do this and do that. But they have not done it or they're not doing it. Okay? And like the brother said, we are new creatures. We're growing. We're trying our best to do it. That's the main thing that You start doing it. Now eventually if you just keep doing the same thing with no different results. So it's a good thing to start and you're getting it going, but eventually you just have to say, you know what, I've been doing this, but I'm living, I have a soul, I have a spirit for a purpose. Now let me see if I can actually start to see different results here that may benefit me or someone else in the gospel. We can't be like the celebrities who it only benefits them so we can find out what they're worth online and all that. What someone's worth online, they die with that, and then the you-wish people take it from them and their family. If they would have used some of that to help, their people in some type of capacity, at least some type of capacity. We're not just talking about just so you can't pay taxes. Sometimes you got to do something that comes from here, from the spirit, that you really feel a real love for your people. Not just a tax write-off only. Anybody can do a tax write-off, but when you give a true offering, true charity of the Most High, that has to be done as well. True sacrifice. So I'm going to leave it here tonight. We had a few call-ins. I'm going to make sure I try to get more call-ins and start earlier because I just been getting my house back in shape, renovating everything. I'm doing some of this carpentry myself too, and I had to hire some people as well, but it's guess what? It's fun being able to get up, staying in a fight. I got my children, my wife, man. Listen, we are fighters. You know what I mean? We are spiritual fighters, and we enjoy the life of the Most High. We enjoy the natural food of the Most High. Train your palate to the things that we used to think that were only for white people. I'm just telling you the truth. I know we used to go in there and be like, oh man, that cheese is smelly and this and all that. It's even better when you make these things yourself though, or buy them in its correct, right, process or content, right? It's even better. You will feel much better, more energy. Get your hands on some of this good old moringa I got. You think I sell moringa just because it's the most powerful tree on the earth? I take it day and night. MSM. I am being able to sit in front of you and run again because of MSM. That's why I'm here. MSM, the Most High, gave me the knowledge through Dr. Truman, through Lindsey Williams on this MSM. And I said, let me study this stuff. I started taking it, and let me tell you, my knees, I have my knees back. I'm able to run and squat and do all these different things again. And matter of fact, the crazy part about this stuff, it's not me trying to sell you something. It's real. My hair was growing crazy long from the MSM. I wasn't even able to squat as much as I could before that injury. Before that injury, guys, I was a basketball player. I couldn't squat nothing. I did jump squats, which are still great. That's what I do now as I get older. But what I'm saying is I was actually able to squat 500 pounds, 400 pounds. And you don't have to do any of these things to get in shape. I'm just proving the point as I could have just gave up and said, well, I don't have enough money for my surgery. I can't do this and do that. But I prayed upon it and I applied myself in the best way that I knew. And I said, I can't just sit on this gold mine. I have to share this stuff with people. It may be people going through things like me. You understand, different ailments or whatever the case may be. I have to share what I know. I don't know everything, but what I do know, I know. What you do know, you know. Turn it into something beautiful and glorify the Father with it. But if you don't, all you have to do is go to KIIYsupplements.com, my sister. I'll put it in the chat before we close out. KIIYsupplements.com. But what I'm saying is, tonight was a great show. I'm glad Elder Rawchaa came on. Thank you, Elder Rawchaa. Thank you, Elder Dale. I'm going to start calling in some of the elders, some of the deacons and officers, give some of their stories, some of their testimonies, some of their wisdom, just to help our people to realize these are not just words. You see that the enemy is giving application. You see that the enemy is giving action. You see that the enemy is not afraid to go to war with you. What are you going to do as a child of the kingdom? Your children depend on you. The Most High have called you. You didn't call the Most High. He called you. Let's do something about it. Okay? Peace and blessings. I want to make sure that young men stop playing around and go to historytimes.org. You cannot rule your household. You cannot rule your household without understanding this Bible. Stop it. We keep saying it over and over and over. Just stop it. Your woman is looking up to you It's good to come to the elders for wisdom. You should always do that too. Do nothing without counsel. But it's building that foundation to make sure that you can make your family last. To make sure that you can understand what's going on. I'm just telling you guys the truth. I shouldn't be like still counseling for simple things like arguments all the time. Like we are in the end game, and are we seriously arguing in households? Let us work together to build our kingdom in that household, right? Let us appreciate our food, shelter, and raiment. One, appreciating in that we have it. Two, trying to make sure that we can continue to have it in its proper form, in the way that it was designed by the Most High as best as possible. Investing in fruit trees, okay, that are native to your area, especially because, you know, they got all this weather going on. Saying, hey, if they hit me with this warfare, do I need a greenhouse? Do I need a mini greenhouse? Whatever the case may be. And you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on these things. You can get YouTube University, at least some of the stuff that's actually real on YouTube, because a lot of stuff is garbage on there. And actually use these things to learn. Books. And we're going to try to bring examples on here as well. Once you start to get there, you get to the next level and the next level. Then you got you eventually some land. I may try to come on here and do another land class on here. Not for beginners just to jump out there and get land, but the things that I've went through, the things that I know, and maybe even bring some people on here who have some experience about it. We can't put everything out there on there, but we're going to put as much as we can out there just to give people an idea. But do not just jump out there with no wisdom. I will do a land class probably on here. I was just going to do it with my local church. Okay, because we got people getting land there. But it's very important that you know what you're doing before you do it. Through the county, through the rules, the legalities, subdividing, all that. It's important. You can buy a piece of land and can't even get on it because there's an easement or a landlock on it. There's so many different things that you need to know about. Flood zone. You get a land that you think is cheap and it's a flood zone. There's nothing wrong with it, but guess what? The insurance may be high. Or even if you still want to get it, you need to know to add dirt to it before you move on it. Or you be in a messed up situation like I was when I first got here, to where I had to finally add dirt to this old rice field so that it wouldn't flood anymore, to bring the property value up. It's so much things to learn. We're going to actually come on here and give a few tips that I know. And if there's other people who knows anything else, they can actually call in to help this situation. Because I know we have different realtors in here and they can give out whatever information they can get out. Peace and blessings to you all. I'm going to go ahead and guess what? I'm going to play that beautiful Spiritually Balling before we play that Academy real quick. Let me play that Spiritually Balling so we can get your mind right. Because that's what we all going to be doing before we leave here. We all going to be spiritually balling. We all going to be spiritually balling. Fair use, religious purpose only. Fair use. Spiritually balling. Get your mind right. You understand me?
How I live in singulations. The fruits of the spirit got me on 10. I'm spiritually ballin', my spirit ballin'. I'm spiritually ballin', I'm ballin', I'm ballin', I'm ballin'.
Now I'm spiritually ballin'. Back then I done took a lot of losses. Hard times that sin was calling. At the same time the most I was calling. Man, I had to consider my ways. Now the truth got me riding the wave. Take my shot, they put hands in my face. I won't pivot, I stand in my place. Got the fruits of the spirit, I'm straight. But the flesh like to creep on the low. Even though I'm living with this flesh, my spirit be ballin' on glow. Every day I try to pass the test, putting pressure on every step I step. Count my blessings, never counting less. Putting in work, it's a lot of rest. No stress, gotta stay blessed. Them haters can hate, but it's fine. Get brute kicked to the chest. Ain't no fake till I make it with mines. I can ball like this, not cause the grind. was so hard it took prepping the mind. Praise the Father got better in time. Praise the Father got better in time, but better in time.
How I live in singulations. The fruits of the spirit got me on 10. I'm spiritually ballin', my spirit ballin'. I'm spiritually ballin', I'm ballin', I'm ballin'. How I live in singulations. The fruits of the spirit got me on 10. I'm spiritually ballin', my spirit ballin'. I'm spiritually ballin', I'm ballin', I'm ballin', yeah.
I'm spiritually ballin', seriously all in. Heavy tree dropping almonds, papaya, pomegranates, olives, grape nectarines, walnuts, pecans, sour guavas, and the whatchamacallit. Just in case I forgot them, financially solving all my problems he solving. Although he frees my orchard, roots still be warming. Keep me cool when it's scorching, staying firm when it's storming. Cruise to the spirit, keep me winning. Want the minutes from the center, cause there is no law against. On 10 while I'm walking, know them demons be stalking. All them Jezebels warn me, close the door, they can't hop in. Go and find you a hobbit, make you dog food for my profit. Wisdom in my wallet, I got sense, I can't profit for your nonsense.
Chewed up with my G Bruce, juice done just made beet juice.
Chew GK, you know what I'm talking about?
We spiritually ballin', not musty or 14. Don't be a simpleton or a simpson like Barton, pardon him.
How I live in singulations. The fruits of the spirit got me on 10. I'm spiritually ballin', my spirit ballin'. I'm spiritually ballin', I'm ballin', I'm ballin'. How I live in singulations. The fruits of the spirit got me on 10. I'm spiritually ballin', my spirit ballin'. I'm spiritually ballin', I'm ballin', I'm ballin', yeah.
Got me on cloud nine, reading nine, straight up out the book. Had to stop and look. Spirit shining brighter than your diamonds. The way I'm flossing on them got them shook.
I ain't talking how they do in the world, always hating on each other. But keeping peace and righteously, looking out and lifting up my brother.
Now watch how I ball, reppin' the higher, nothing at all. And everyday self-examinating, eliminating them spirits that ain't with them laws. Intercept the love, juking all the hate. Run with joy and peace, touching down on faith. Ballin' in the spirit, crossing over flesh. 3 and Satan face, swishes all night. I'm kingdom rich, I'm showing off wisdom like you never seen her. Got me riding fruits of the spirit, I call him a cherubim. If it be his will, with my jersey call, I'm getting in. I'm not boasting, just provoking the good words. Fruits of the spirit is how to live.
The fruits of the spirit got me on 10. I'm spiritually ballin', my spirit ballin'. I'm spiritually ballin', I'm ballin', I'm ballin'. How I live in singulations. The fruits of the spirit got me on 10. I'm spiritually ballin', my spirit ballin'. I'm spiritually ballin', I'm ballin', I'm ballin', yeah.
Hey, listen. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You understand. You already know what it is. I wanted to put this out there for the babies. Just really quick. For the babies. All right. That good old, one second. I want to put this Jacob and Esau out there for the babies. I know it's hard to find something without the Rainbow Gang out there. You understand. So for those of you who are subscribed to Lions Kids, go ahead and subscribe to Lions Kids. For the good old Jacob and Esau, you understand. I'm going to put the link. Little Jacob and Esau cartoon for the babies. I'll put the link in there for you guys. Make sure you go run that up. And I want to tell you guys, when it comes to, when it actually comes to, you know, when we are, one second here. Let me put this on there for you. This is fair use educational, right? Purposes only. This, let me just show you this example. Just what these babies can watch. Fair use.
Please show me a specific sign that I may know who is the perfect woman for Isaac. Let it happen that the woman who I shall tell, lower your pitcher and please give me water to drink. And she will say, drink and I will also give your camels water to drink. Lord God, let this be the woman that you have chosen for your servant Isaac. Then I will know for sure that you have shown kindness unto my master Abraham.
Before the servant was done speaking, a woman named Rebecca came out with her picture
So
on
I
her...
just wanted to show you, hey, go ahead and subscribe to that for the babies. Make sure they got something to watch. Okay, I put the link already in there. Just go to Lions Kids TV and you're gonna find Jacob and Esau. All right, we gonna show it in its rightful form or whatever. They've been doing that for a few years, getting that page together. Okay, so and these are my babies making these videos. This ain't me. So they doing the best they can with those videos, trying to do their little works as children. So that's one thing. When your children see you actually doing works, you inspire them. And you know, I mean, sometime I come up in there and I said, man, these kids are making things from scratch. I mean, they know how to make this bread from scratch. They know how to grind the flour, the grain from scratch, make the bread. They up in there making eggs and cheese sandwiches with this natural bread, and they know how to make steaks. And I mean, they make whole dinners and Alfredo pasta from scratch. Nothing is from the jar and everything is from scratch. These babies is getting money. So we need to be teaching our children about financial literacy, LLCs. LLCs ain't gonna ask you what type of college degree you got, okay? I'm just telling you how this thing goes. So don't worry about learning all of this nonsense, this waste of time nonsense that they're taking your time from. Learn about capital. Learn about things like that. Teach your children these things, trades, different things. Let me tell you, that's going to actually benefit them and their families, their future families, for our kingdom. Okay? Because they teaching a bunch of stuff that you ain't going to use. You like, man, I don't even remember that. I haven't used that in the last 20, 30 years. And then I'm still asking of how to make money, how to learn how to get business credit, all these different type of things. Come on now. These are things kids can learn now. Okay? So if we change the mindset, children won't even think in their minds that they are workers. They're going to think, I'm not a worker. I'm a business owner. I'm a business manager, whatever the case may be. So these are things. If they learning how to live off grid, they learning how to slaughter chicken, do all these different things, the young men, that's a business in itself because no one else knows how to do it. These kids wake up in the morning because they're homeschooled. Chickens is fed, goats is fed, or you take them out to go eat the grass, whatever the case may be. The average person don't know how to do that. Let me tell you, that's a seminar. You're like, hey, I'm going to the local county. I'm just going to rent out the little hall in the county, and I'm teaching people how to milk goats. It's going to be $5 to $7 a person. It's $20 a person. Your kid is teaching this. Teaching how to deal with bees and different things like this. Let me tell you, it's a whole business. You did it in this county. You going to the next county. Now you didn't got so good. They need you to fly on a private jet or somewhere to another state to go and teach this same seminar to thousands of people to get people back where we're trying to go now. It's so many different things that can be done. You just have to see it in your mind that you can do it. It's some things that you got of why you broke, and you can be rich in the spirit and physically right in front of you. Okay? Don't think that everybody knows how to homestead, because they don't. Right? It's an actual skill, and it's knowledge, and it's things that's being taught in college that you can teach your own. You don't have to just be a cook cooking in someone's restaurant. You're like, listen, I'm a cook and show my personality on my own page. And people is going to pay for that. Instead of me just slaving cooking in somebody's kitchen only. So now you got your own fan base and crowd, because you no different than what people doing on YouTube now. You getting paid from the views, and now you're getting paid for certain members and all that, whatever the case may be, on your own YouTube channel, on your own whatever. We can create what we want to create. That's why Dame Dad said, he's like, listen, I wanted my own channel, my own stuff. Not that I agree with everything he's doing, but the mindset. Okay? Just wanted to throw that out there. Make sure you check out Lions Kids TV. All right. Make sure you go to historytimes.org to join our Hebrew and Bible Academy to get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You're talking about powerful lessons. Okay? Powerful lessons. All right. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and go. I smell that food. Elder Fernell, I love you, my brother. He already didn't see. Sister, I told you he was already going to contact you. We don't, let me tell you, we men of our word around here. It's already on it. Shalom, Israel. Hope you guys had a happy Feast of First Fruits. I'm going to upload one of the videos on G.O.C.C media of what one of the sisters put together. Peace and blessings to you all. Shalom. HistoryTimes.org.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book. And the truth will make you